Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the Suffolk Non-League show. I am James. Here's Adam, and we are live once again. It's Monday night, 8:30. You know the drill by now. We are live across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for the next however long we go on for tonight. Who knows? We've gone for hour and a half, 2 hours. We've even had a 3-hour special. Who knows? We will see what happens tonight. But yeah, it's going to be an absolute bumper episode. As always, in Suffolk Non-League football, things never stay still for too long. There's always news. There's always items to talk about. Just because there's no football doesn't mean there's not anything to talk about. And we've stayed the course throughout this entire lockdown 2.0, where others have disappeared. We have been here the entire time. Adam, how you doing, my man? You well?
Yeah, very, very good. It's never calm on a Monday, is it?
No.
Never calm on a Monday.
No, we go into Sunday night and we're thinking we've got everything set. We've got all of our graphics done. We've got all of our artwork done. We've got all of our banners done. Everything's looking really good. Everything's really clean. 10 o'clock, you can guarantee first thing in the morning, boom, first article's up. Right. I've got to do that when I get home. Midday, another article comes up. Oh, for Christ's sake, I've got to do that. 5 o'clock rolls around. Oh, there's another one. It just never, ever, ever stops. I'm thinking we change
job on Mondays.
I'm thinking we change this to Sundays because then our lives would just be a lot easier.
Just imagine how much writing up we'd have to do in the week, though. The amount of hours this week Joe has taken is ridiculous.
I can't justify that to the missus, I'm afraid, about why I'm spending the Sundays as well as Saturdays doing the show. But I hope everybody's well. I hope everyone's well because we finally got light at the end of the tunnel. Football is round the corner this weekend. Hopefully, all things, fingers crossed, everything like that. We've got football to look forward to. I will get to your hellos in a moment. But yeah, it's as I said, it's been a crazy, crazy journey so far this week. But before we get too far into the show, just want to say a quick word from our sponsors. A massive thank you to all of our sponsors for the Suffolk Non-League show. GBS, Starling & Lock, Matchday Marketing and Your Shirts. GBS are a family-run construction company in Ipswich operating nationwide with over 30 years experience, offering fire protection, diamond drilling, commercial building, health and safety and asbestos removal. Starling & Lock, self-employed electrician in the Stowmarket and Suffolk area since 1989, offering domestic work and certificates for people buying and selling houses. An NIC/EIC member. Matchday Marketing, sports marketing and branding company, helping enhance the image and profile of grassroots and non-league clubs at a very low cost, utilising over 20 plus years in the game. Your Shirts, eye-catching, professional-looking garments for your business, team, club or organisation with a range of printing methods to cover all individual needs. Links for all of these companies will be in the description below. Go and check them out and tell them that DeeJam has sent you. Still need to remove that dislike on there, but absolutely love it. Quick word as well, just to say that from our club partners for tonight's show, if you want to get in touch with Adam, you can contact him via Twitter. It's a good way to promote, self-promote each other. We talk about you talk about us in terms of that. If you are interested in becoming a club partner, like everybody who was on the screen, as I said, just contact the Adam Wade via Twitter, and he will explain what it is that you need to do. Massive shout out as well to all of our Ko-fi members. Absolutely fantastic the amount of people that have jumped on board with this to help us expand and grow the show. Ko-fi is a one-off donation you can make towards the channel. Visit kofi.com/the non-league nosh. And if you want to put the price of a coffee towards the show to help it continue to grow, like all of these good people on the screen have done so far, you can do so as well. And also, thank you very much to our monthly Patreon members as well. All of the guys who are on screen at the moment help contribute it towards a regular basis. Really, really does mean the world. Let's get your messages up on the screen. There's a lot of you piling in already. I was going to bring yours up, Adam. Why not? Hello, everyone.
Get it out there. Just thought I'd say hi to the chat nice and early.
Ryan Johnson, evening lads, hope you're well, mate. Stuart's in the building, evening mate, hope you're all right. Matchday Marketing's here. Shem is in the building. Football's back. You're damn right it's back. You're damn right it's back. Dan Barnard, Adam, a shade for Blake. Is that true? Is that why this is?
Well, I'm going to get this story out there now because the chat is annoying me already. Muzzy is on my actual phone saying I look like Benjamin Button. Like, I bought a new shaver in Black Friday, and I used the wrong guide straight away. I started up here, used the wrong guide.
That is
Looked
shocking.
dreadful, didn't it? Way too short, so I had to just take it all off. Otherwise, I would have had beard here, nothing here, and I haven't cut my hair yet. I'm mid-growth here. That needs to be cut off. I'm not going to cut it as short as Blakey's, but I cocked up. So that's where the beard's done. It will be coming back.
That is shocking. Ian's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Dean Cooper, as always. Dean, hope you're doing all right, mate. Who's the new guy? I don't know. Just someone we've picked up. I don't know where Adam is. We'll hopefully find him some point. Vinny Ford, evening, mate. Evening, Vinny. Where were you last week? You were a bit quiet.
He's got his own little icon now as well.
Just blacked out. I'm not sure what that means, but it's just blacked out. Fair enough, mate. Alex, evening, gents. Make sure you keep an eye on us tonight, mate. I know you're watching the FA Cup tie as well, but just make sure you keep an eye on the stream, my man. But good to see you are in the building. Maverick UK, hello. Hope you're doing well. Michael Crofer is here as well. James, time to shave your beard now. Absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. Connor Ellis, good evening, James, and the new. I love this. Absolutely love this. Yes. Evening non-league legends. Oh, legends.
Love that. Thank you.
I will take the compliment. Yes, Vinny is in the building. Adam, where is the beard? Does not look right. Adam looks like little Barney without a beard.
Literally.
Ben is here. Evening, all looking forward to the show. Wherever else are we? Follow the trawler. Evening, lads. Hope you're doing well. Tony Stone's in the building. Yes, shaved, but the hat is back, which is good. Steve White, evening all. Hope you have a good show, lads. We will do. Interesting to hear what you think about Lowestoft signing of Alfie Payne. I tweeted it, actually. I thought that was a fantastic signing. I've obviously been a Norwich fan. I know a lot about Alfie Payne in terms of how good of a player he can be. So for Lowestoft, I think that's a great move, and I really, really hope it works out well for him. So I'm pleased with that. I don't know if you've got any thoughts, Adam. Do you know much about Alfie?
Well, I watched Non-League to Legend last year on Football Manager online, and he was quite a good player on Football Manager last year for lower league clubs. I don't know much about the lad, but if he's half as good as he was on there, then can't believe he's gone to Lowestoft. But to be honest, Lowestoft could do with a few players. They haven't had the best start, so him going there is a good move, good bit of pedigree to bring in, young as well.
Definitely. Jamie's in the building. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Alex is here as well. Good evening, my man. Hope you're doing all right. Hi, lads. Hope you're both well. From Ben Moore. Official Westerfield didn't know it was bringing a friend to work today.
I'm looking around me to see if I can find a scarf, so people shut up. I'm cracking under the pressure here already.
David, evening, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Irvin's in the building. Vinny, I fell asleep last week. I watched on a Tuesday morning. No, fantastic. From Daniel Barnard as well. Right, so let's get into our opening talking points. As I said, things in non-league football are never quiet for too long. We had a statement come out which absolutely shocked football in Suffolk, especially in the SIL world, with the announcement from Crane Sports saying that they were withdrawing from the SIL. I don't know about you, Adam, but my phone just went absolutely crazy that night. The amount of DMs I had, people were messaging me left, right, and centre. Amount of people tagging me in different things. It just went absolutely crazy. First of all, obviously, we'll go through the statements as they've come in, and I've been sent one actually by Crane today with kind of like an official update. Your first thoughts when you saw that news, as someone who is slowly getting into SIL football, what did you make of it?
There's a bit of a giant has fallen moment, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
There are clubs that, like, if a club is less successful, you almost or less established, you'd expect it more. But it's definitely not a team I would ever have expected that news to come out of. And I was getting news from like furloughed Prem players about it, like messages from them saying, "Oh, I've heard Cranes have folded. What's going on and stuff." And I was genuinely shocked.
Yeah.
Like in recent times, Cranes were the first team that I actually saw at SIO level.
Yeah.
Like about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, genuinely shocked.
Yeah.
And I, my notifications now were ridiculous. And I was getting a lot of DMs, but I was paying a lot of attention to the sentiment that was being shown by reply.
Yeah.
To that message, and
Yeah.
a lot of people were quite upset by it, and rightly so, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So this is the statement that Crane put out the other night. He's saying is with an extremely heavy heart that after much consideration, our management team and committee have decided to withdraw our teams from the league with immediate effect. The growing uncertainty of the pandemic is at the forefront of our minds, and with the building pressure of the running costs and restrictions in the use of our facility, sadly, we are left with only one option. The lack of ability to hold fundraising events has also impacted massively on the club. No doubt there will be lots of speculations about the who, the why, and where, and that we cannot stop. One thing is for sure, the Cranes family is exactly that, a family. And then as the statement quite said, there was a lot of speculation. There was a lot of talk. I believe there was even a fundraising campaign put on at one point to try and generate some sort of money to help out, which was unbelievable. It wasn't official, that one, was it? I don't think, Adam. I think somebody independently set that up.
I was a little bit scared to share it, if I'm honest.
Right.
I'm not going to lie.
It's so that we had that statement, and then all of a sudden, within the space of about 12 hours, I started getting a few messages saying we hopefully have got some sort of a solution. We don't know yet, but we should hear something over the weekend. And then the SIL posted out saying Crane Sports have had some new developments that have given them hope to be able to continue as a football club. On hearing this, they have contacted the league and asked for their resignation to be withdrawn. The Macron, Suffolk and Ipswich League accepted their request, for which Crane Sports are very grateful. We wish them continued success in the future. So, great news. Things have switched. And then this is the statement I got come through for me today, which is from Sean Watson. Obviously, you guys know him. He's often in the chat and doing very well in the Super Six, and everybody knows him for his work with recording the footage for Crane Sports. He said, with the club having taken a difficult decision to withdraw from the SI, we received a lifeline from Mark Calvert at Gresham's that will thankfully see us continue for the foreseeable future, and with main sponsorship from Gresham's Fitness for the 21-22 season in place, along with all of the use of function rooms to generate much needed club funds. Collectively, would like to thank Mark and Jamie at the Box Tree venue for the support, and all local clubs and individuals who kindly offered to help. Special thanks to the FA who contacted the club offering help as well. We look forward to this coming weekend where we can finally get back to playing football. So great news, absolutely superb news. The club are going nowhere, which is exactly what we wanted.
A few people called for the FA to step in and help out as well. Dean's been quite vocal in the week about things, so it's quite nice to have that acknowledged in the statement that they did reach out.
Yeah,
like obviously we're never going to know what that conversation was, but the fact that the FA have made contact and tried to intervene in a club folding, especially with the history that Cranes have got, is quite comforting, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I've always watched Crane from afar. I've kept in contact in terms of watching the highlights from time to time as and when I can. I've tried to keep as regular with them as I possibly can. With obviously Sean recording the match day highlights, it doesn't make sense for both me and him to be turning up to the same sort of game. But if there's like a semi-final or a final kind of game, I was there. Do you know what I mean? So I was there and recording them, and every time that I've seen them, they've always been a very, very impressive team. The game that stands out for me is when I went to watch them away at Old Newton. I think it was this season, actually, the beginning of this. It might have, actually been at the beginning of this season. Absolutely incredible. They've got such a good team. Obviously, things haven't gone quite as well at the start of this season, but to have lost them from the SI would have been. I mean, tragic. you can't replace certain teams like that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Which is why I think some people are quite upset with the way things have gone for Achilles, because again, it's another massive club. You don't want to see those kind of teams just all of a sudden drop out of your top division. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad that they are. I'm glad that they're sticking around. I'm glad that they're staying and they've managed to sort it. But this just goes to show the power of social media. For all the negative stuff that goes on with social media and the amount of stuff that people talk about it, and there are a lot of bad things to say about online. Effectively, them putting this statement out has saved them.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for people reacting, people tweeting about it, talking about it, getting that petition up and running to try and save the club, would this have happened? I don't think so. I don't think it would have happened.
It's odd, isn't it? Because like it's a modern day thing, isn't it? Like you think, like, go back a few years, if clubs folded, they didn't have any outlet to kind of share that with. You were just gone.
Yeah.
Whereas now they had that back in, and they knew that people wanted them to carry on. And there are a few jokey posts that went around, which I found quite funny. Like people saying, like, I'm sure there's going to be some players there that are going to have a busy phone.
Yeah.
Over there. And I'd like to know, like, in all seriousness, I'd like to know how many of them
were contacted.
Yeah, I'd like to know how many of their players actually had a call, because that would be funny. And I'd like to know who those calls came from, because
you guarantee they would.
Yeah, they've got some decent players there. So there's a funny side to that story.
Yeah. Sean just simply said all of them.
Yeah. Literally, not surprised whatsoever.
No, I don't doubt that. But as I said, I'm just, as sad as it was on the night, and as I said, it completely stopped everything that I was doing that night, because my phone just kept going and I could not talk about it, could not react, couldn't reply to people. I was trying to reach out to certain people to sort of say, look, do you need any help? Is there anything that I can do? Is there any way of salvaging this situation? It was very much, well, let's just kind of see how things go over the next, 24, 48 hours, and we'll see where we are. As I said, the main thing is that they are here. They are going to be back this weekend. I think they're playing Bilderson this weekend from what I've seen online. So good luck to them. I hope that is all kind of put to bed, and we can all kind of move on. And as I said, I'm glad that they're sticking around. Alex has said this shows how massive they are to the SIL. Glenn on there saying, great news for Cranes. I bet there were a lot of SIL managers who thought there would be some very good players up for grab, which is what you kind of alluded to on there. Dean, my fault. I kept tagging you. Did it wasn't just you, Dean. There was a lot of people. There was
the club rightly tagged us in the actual statement, which actually helped me keep up to date with it.
Yeah, very true.
Actually, for us, there's a lot of power in us being tagged in some of these statements and stuff that comes out, because it means we get to the reaction a little bit quicker, and it can help rather than being sort of tagged into a string of news at the end of it, because I've missed half of what's going on by the time I join in.
Yeah, and I think from our perspective, and we haven't talked about this before, but I don't want to big ourselves up too much, but it just shows what we're doing on this show.
Yeah.
The fact that they actually fought in their statement about the fact that their club is closing, that they fought to tag us in it. I thought that was a nice touch. It was a really, really nice touch. How many calls did you make? Says Maverick UK. Follow the trawler. It's great news, but frustrating. It has to get to that stage and being. It is a shame.
That's a good different view, to be honest. To be slightly frustrated by the fact that we've had to get it to that point. This show makes shit happen. Yeah, I haven't written any angry emails recently, actually.
No, you haven't. Who's the young lad on the right? This is going to be continuing the entire evening.
I just want like a fancy dress beard or something. Like, I can't handle the banter.
So moving on from the SIL, we go on to the furlough none, and we talk about the news that has broke over the past few days in terms of who is and who's not going to be involved. This situation is going to develop throughout the week as we build up to this weekend's action to find out who actually wants to play football, who's in a position to be able to play football as well, which is a very important part to add to that particular statement. But we've got two slides to kind of show you, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about it. So coming from the Furlough None, we had their statement earlier on in the week saying the Furlough None League will go ahead with their post-lockdown restart plans for next week. but not with a full quota of teams. The chairman, Peter Hutchins, confirmed it will be staggered restart for clubs following the suspension of non-elite football being lifted, determined by which clubs are happy to play under the financial implications of Tier 2 food and drink sale restrictions. Consequently, clubs that have not thought it financially feasible to play on or that do not feel safe to resume during the current time will be allowed to postpone fixtures without punishment, delaying their restart. Hutchins told Suffolk News the league management committee met this morning and we've decided to continue with league fixtures from Saturday, December the 5th. But if any clubs wish to suspend their own fixtures for economic or health reasons, then this will be acceptable. Then we saw the list published today from the Suffolk News, and thank you very much to Russell Clayton for tagging us in this and making us aware of this particular article. But the teams who have opted out are Kirkland, Patefield, Mildenhall, Stanway, Stowmarket, Godmanchester, Long Melford, Newmarket, and Swaffham. Clubs that have set to restart are Brantham, Ely, Clacton, Galston, Hadley United, Haverhill Rovers, Norwich United, Thetford, Walsham, Witton, and Wroxham. So we have a bit of a mixture. We've only just got over 50% of teams wanting to continue. Adam, what's your first kind of reaction to that? First of all, I suppose my question would be, should clubs have been given the chance? Should they have been able to decide whether or not they want to do it? Because that's the kind of question that's circling online at the moment. Should clubs have been able to make that decision?
It's a tough question. I struggle mentally with the whole thing that a club isn't viable without bar money. I can't get my head around that. And I think there are ways of doing things, like you can eat outside if you sit down. Felixstowe have got around that. I just can't. I can't. I don't know how much it's a case of like sidestepping things for a bit and waiting to see what happens. It's a little bit tricky, and I don't want to put criticism on people, because if clubs aren't comfortable putting people at risk of COVID as such, then that's fine. But the science behind it says that if you're in tier 2, you're allowed to play.
Yeah,
I find that bit really hard.
And how good Suffolk. I'm not entirely sure on Norfolk, if I'm being completely honest, but Suffolk was very, very close to being in tier 1. And I think there's a lot of people who are saying there should be absolutely no reason why Suffolk is not in tier 1, because we have I think we have the lowest rate, don't we? Outside of the ones who are in tier 1, we have the lowest rate.
And we're very close to being tier 1 as well. The thing is, let's say a lot of these clubs are saying, I'm not going to play till January, right? The question that I'd pose to everyone that's on here and in the chat today is, if we get to January and we're still in tier 2, are we still going to say we're not playing? Because by that point, been the season.
Yeah.
We're having clubs get to January having only played 7 games.
Yeah.
Honestly, we can't do it.
Yeah.
You've got to start getting those games in. Some clubs are going to be more keen to get back to playing than others, because they'll do pitch sharing. This is me talking up and down the country, but it's very, very difficult. I can see what Stephen's put on the screen now. I've been sent an article which says there may be an amendment to a rule that's coming out, meaning that bars may be able to serve drink, but it would have to be consumed outside of the bar and in view of the pitch. Right. So don't know if that's actually going to be a thing, but I've been sent it. Big thanks to Dan Snell this week, who's been doing bits of my research work for me and sending them on. And it makes things a bit difficult. I don't know, I don't know how much of a difference that bar stuff makes. I don't know if they're thinking that if the bar's not open, people aren't going to come and watch. If people don't come and watch, then there's not going to be any income on the gate at all, and it's going to make it tricky. But Witton are really leading the way with one of the things that happen. There's a few things that could happen. Dan Snell suggested that you charge an extra couple of quid on the door just to go and watch football. I would happily chuck £2 more in the door.
Yeah.
To do things. The other thing is Witton players are all forfeiting their match fees to help the club out. How good is that?
Yeah, that's what Dean's put in the comments here.
There is something that the clubs could do just to play, and I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate on individual cases, but I'm not sure if clubs are solely doing it for the health side of things, because we've been told on a science level, on a government level, it's safe to play football. So who are we to then make a bigger decision than that and say, no, it's not?
Yeah.
It can sound a bit greedy. I think people probably look two ways on what I'm saying, but I think that I genuinely think that we need to try and get back to playing as soon as possible where we can. I mean, the whole thing of this tier thing is a huge hammer blow. Very excited on Monday. I remember saying that football's going to be coming back. The announcement came, and then absolute hammer blow when this tier system comes in with what it is, and straight away the rumours started of clubs saying, "Oh, without a clubhouse open, it's not viable." And then people saying we don't think it's safe, and following the lines of what Kirkley and Pakefield did. Long Melford have come out today and said they're not comfortable with it either. So that's another one locally that's gone. It's a big shame because those teams, I just want to see them play again.
Yeah. Dan Barnard has put in the chat, I did tag you boys in something coming from Ollie Bayliss today. So let me just read that out because I can't share my screen at the moment. But other hospitality businesses, including cafes, restaurants, and social clubs, can only serve alcohol with substantial meals. If they are a business which serves alcohol for consumption on the premises, they must be table service only. Yeah. In cinemas, theatres, concert halls, and sports stadia, alcohol can be ordered at a bar to be consumed when seated in the auditorium or area where the screening/performance is taking place. So that kind of alludes to what you said earlier about you have to take your drink to the pitch itself. This should be limited to only those with a ticket, which, well, I mean, obviously you can't get into football without a ticket. When it is to be consumed in the bar area itself, it must be part of a substantial meal and full table service must be provided. Yep. Hospitality venues that do not serve alcohol may allow someone to order from the counter, but they must still consume their meal from a seat if eating in. So
I think it's possible, and I think there's something there. But then, like I said, I don't know. I can't accuse people of hiding behind health and safety, and I can't also accuse people of not wanting to play. But I strongly believe it's so contentious.
Yeah,
we should be playing if we can, and it's going to make things really hard. If you're telling me that you're not going to be playing 3 times a week now later in the season, I'd be laughing at you.
Yeah,
there's no other way.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Dan said, credit to Haverhill and Thetford. They're both struggling and could have pushed for null and void, but both are happy to have a restart, which is a very, very good point. Carl's in the building. Good evening, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Getting up to date with this technology stuff. We've been having a few technology discussions tonight as well, so I know exactly where you're coming from, Carl. Dean Cooper, no gain, no game in some teams' minds, which is very true. I suppose for a lot of people, it is all now based on financial decisions rather than health and safety in inverted commas. Players need to play for their sanity, says Stephen. And Jordan says, are we here to play football or to make money?
Jordan,
which again, I think that's what it all boils down to, doesn't it? That ultimately is what this all boils down to. People can say that it's health and safety. And I think for some, and I'm literally putting like a 1% on that, I think for those people, it is very much a health and safety thing. They are worried because there are going to be some people who are still concerned. But I think the majority of people who make these decisions at certain football clubs, it's a financial decision.
It's all about
without a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it is. But you hear certain numbers and stuff that go around at many, many different clubs. Like,
sorry.
There's a lot of clubs. There's a lot of clubs with quite big wage budgets, even this season.
Yeah.
And it's about keeping that sustainable for some of them. And Dean put on Twitter in the week that why don't players give up their 20 or 30 quid? I tell you now, there's a lot of clubs where that's not the wages. There are some. But if you're playing furlough non-prem, paying 20 or 30 quid, you're going to be in the lower fifth.
Maybe. Maybe. Top marks of the Whittam boys who have forgone their payments from Maverick UK. There's been a lot of talk that the FA suggesting clubs talk to local authorities for potential to open tea huts, etc. Littlehampton has been granted dispensation by their local council, so there is a chance, says following the trawler. Psychics for Sports, part of a player's Saturday is the beers after the game is difficult, but you still want to play. So
just
it's
get some guineas and drink them around the goalposts.
The cost to hire furlough and football, they have to run it like any other business. Budget is set according to projected income. When that income reduces, costs need to be cut accordingly, says Tony on there. So again, it's a financial. It boils down to a financial decision, doesn't it? Let's face it.
Tough.
But I suppose, we've seen that update from the furlough none. We will see other updates in due course, because obviously we've got other leagues starting maybe a week or so later. And obviously we've still got the furlough none North to kind of look into as well. So there's going to be a lot of updates. There's going to be a lot of changes, which is why we have decided that when it comes to the fixture side of things and looking forward over the next, especially into this weekend, we haven't got any slides to look at this week's fixtures, because already we've seen teams over the last 24 hours that have decided that their games have been postponed or whatever the reason being, etc. So we're not going to be making those graphics up for maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks and see how things lie. Let's see who decides to play, who decides to continue, and then we'll continue with what we were doing prior to this lockdown. On that part. Final few comments on this, then we're going to go on to Super 6, and then we're going to get on to the main event in a moment. So Daniel Barnard's heard the furlough none teams have been offered to kick off at 2 instead of 3 to save the usage of floodlights, which again is another cost-saving exercise. Is this being decided by boards or by players? I would say boards. I don't think players have got much of a choice in what the club's going to say.
There's no player power in that decision at all.
No. Alex Eggleton, sadly, football clubs can't run on zero. They can't, but you've still got the match day ticket income. There are means and ways around these kind of things. I don't know the full ins and outs of a football club. I'm not even going to pretend to know the full ins and outs of a football club, but I do get where people are coming from. As I said, it has to feel right and it has to fit each individual club, which is why I think ultimately a decision has been given to them to decide which way they want to do things. Do you know what I mean? So it's up to each individual club. And Shane has put smaller clubs seem to be the majority in the 50% continuing.
And what's the reason for that? Well, it's easier to become self-sufficient, even without the bar and the food. And for once, that's repaying itself. Yeah,
that's it. So that's the situation. If you want to get involved, let us know your thoughts on everything either in the comment section on here, or you can continue the debate with us over on Twitter. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And as a lot of you do, you can always DM me after the show and tell me what you think. I get that every single week. They don't want to comment on here, but they'll DM me about an hour later going, actually, you should have said this. And it's like, well, why didn't you come on the show and say something? Why didn't you put something in the comments and give that opinion? I don't want to hear it now. I don't want to hear it an hour
later. Yeah. Always tough.
There we go. So it's at this point of the show. Before we get onto the Super 6, you all know what is coming up. We've got Matt Blake coming up after the Super 6. This is now the point of the show where I want you to share the link for this part of the show. If you're on Twitter, retweet the video. Get this into all of your WhatsApp groups. Get this spread around as much as you can. If you're on Facebook, share the video and get it on your timelines. I want your nans, I want your granddads, I want your cousins, I want your auntie who you don't even speak to anymore. I want her watching tonight's show. Get them all on board as much as you can. If you're watching from a YouTube perspective, give the video a big fat thumbs up. Let's spread this around as much as we possibly can. Adam, Super 6 time. This is to decide who won the copy of Football Manager. Do you want to have a little bit of a talk about it before I bring the slide up to reveal who's won?
Yeah, that's right. James, talk us through how many points you got this week.
Well, it comes back to that. I want an independent regulator to come in and verify that you are taking my bets into consideration, because this is the second time now when you're saying I haven't entered.
You don't enter, James. You don't enter. That's absolutely
rubbish.
Dreadful.
Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. I'm not having it.
I want to thank you, everyone that entered this week, for making me trawl through the first 22 forms before I found a correct scoreline. That was miserable last night, I'll be honest. It's quite.
Was it that bad?
Oh, it was bad. But then, Norwich done us all dirty. Everyone thought that they'd beat Coventry. Ipswich are absolute garbage. They lost. And then
did anybody realistically have Ipswich to win? Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Many people put 2-1 to Ipswich. Yeah. Do you know what? The amount of people that put 6-0 or 5-1 for the Kings Lynn game. So many people just one goal out.
Really?
Incredible.
Wow.
And then the other one, no one put Chorley to beat Peterborough. No one.
Right. Interesting.
So overall scores this week, the highest score received was a 5 this week, which was hit by about 6 people.
Right.
But that did mean that we have had some serious movements. So if you can show us the winner of the November competition.
Yes, here you go. So the winner is
Ben Durham. Spreads has been absolutely pipped at the post because he had a rubbish week, to be honest. I'll cut straight to the chase. He did actually send me a message in the week and say, I don't think I've done very well here, boys. But as you can see, all the people that were up there didn't have a great week. And Jordan and Ben both had strong weeks. But what I want to point out is Ben Durham won this, getting a 0 in the first week.
Which is incredible.
He entered and got a 0. So absolutely incredible performance. Well done. Get in contact and we will decide.
He's already there. He's already there. Look at him. He's buzzing.
Decide what sort of version of Football Manager you'd like. I mean, you'll make my day if it's the $7.99 mobile version, but you can have any one you want. Yeah, so absolutely buzzing. Well done, Ben. I'm sure Spreads will be gracious in defeat as well, mate. So all good. It did affect some of the stand-ins for the main league, but November is done. And I will come on to what's going to happen in December in a moment. If we just have a look at the main league, James.
Yeah, sure. There you go. So this is the updated version. And thanks to Adam not registering my predictions, I am slowly but surely slipping down that table. I'm now 26th, but Spreads out in top, 51 points. Tommy Smith, 49. Sean Watson, 44. Alex 43, and then Ben with his November performance up to 5th in the table. Adam, who are the big movers and shakers?
Jordan has been drifting up gradually, doing quite well. Obviously, Ben's performance is going to have moved him the most during the month of November, common sense. Mid-table wise, there hasn't been an awful lot of movement. In terms of where we are, I'm creeping up the table slowly up to 12th, which I'm quite pleased with. Sean, I think, Sean Talman has crapped up a little bit as well on there. But yeah, there's been limited movement going on, to be honest. But I think what we need is a good week of local football where we all score more points. And get going from there. Michael Crofer, you had another week where you scored the most points out of everyone.
Really?
He got 5. So another week of top scoring. I think that's his second week in a month. It's just a shame he does absolutely crap in between all of those weeks. It's all good. Scores are ticking up at the bottom of the leaderboard as well. So we are getting more competitive.
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
Definitely. Alex is happy with his 8th place on there. Follow the Trawler said, out of interest, how many competitors are there in total? What kind of numbers are we up to now, mate? Because obviously, I know we get the top 60 up on the screen here, but how many are we actually up to?
143.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, love managing this every week. Wow. So yeah, got a great spreadsheet going on. So I love doing the copy and pasting bit when I have to put it all on the graphic. That's So it's good though. It's very competitive. big shout out to your dad as well, James. Obviously one of our sponsors, but he came over and he said, I didn't see my name on the I used to be on there, but didn't see my name out of the 60 people. Now your dad enters religiously every week.
Yeah, he does. Bless him.
Up until this week, he'd only got 9 points, and I had to break it to him that despite entering every single week, he couldn't make the top 60. So I had quite a laugh with him about that. So, but there's some people in this that are on the top 60 that haven't actually entered all that often and are just very, very good at it. So,
okay, interesting.
Playing makes a difference. You can quickly shoot up that lead.
Yeah, definitely. And if you decide to count my next two, then who knows? I might be able to climb up that leaderboard as well.
I have to. It's like being a parent to you, James. I have to remind you every week.
Well, I've entered it before we went live today, so
unfortunately, that's cheating. So that won't count.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I can't hide behind it, Dan. I can't hide behind it. I've just my memory is just not. It's not fantastic. I promote these things. I'll talk about it, but actually comes to entering it myself. That is going to be my excuse for the whole year. I'm gonna stand by it. But there we go. Irvin, I forgot again. How many tend to forget on a regular basis?
Average entrance is about 70.
Still, so, that's a lot.
Yeah, 50% enter every week, but it's always a bit different. Some people are constant on it, and the more consistent you are, the easier it is to climb up the league. And you'll see by the difference in numbers, it's easy to go from sort of 41 all the way up to about 15th in the course of a couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Dean, yes, and you can't enter twice. I see Matt Musgrove took my advice. Says Paul.
Yeah, I think he did quite well this week, actually.
Yeah, there you go. So, Adam, moving forward then for this week's Super Six, what do we want to talk about the actual games that we've got first of all, or do you want to talk about
that first? We'll do that first, then we'll talk about what we've got lined up for December.
Okay, so these are the fixtures that we've decided to go for. Adam put a tweet out earlier on today asking us who is actually confirmed as a fixture and who wants to be considered to go on to this week's Super Six. So here are the games that we've got, and I'm now about to post the link for the Super Six. If anybody wants to get involved with this week's entry into the chat. So if you're Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, it should now be available to you. So we've got North Greenford United versus Walsham with Willows, Haverhill Rovers versus Witton United, Henley versus Trimley, Westerfield versus Achilles, Hawley versus Old Newton, and Claydon versus Haverhill Borough. Different competitions. We've got the Vars, we've got Furlough Nunn, SIL, and the Suffolk Senior Cup. So a bit of a mixture of teams that wanted us to predict their games on there.
Yep. Nice smattering as well. Like few different fixtures. Like geography is quite good, nicely spread out.
Yeah. Some real tasty games in there.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree with on that one. Dan just said, yes, Adam, not a nice one. Tico's going to be annoyed at him.
Yeah, I did think that, but I'm not here to make friends.
Vinny's just said, is J. Luke a real name?
I've got fat everything, Vinny. Don't worry yourself, mate.
Alex is already done. He's saying great fixtures. I think people just happy and they're just chuffed that non-league football is back. I think that's the big thing, isn't it?
I quite enjoyed putting a little message out and getting people to suggest fixtures for me to include. So that might be a feature going forward.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Saves me a job.
We always get it wrong. Every week you've done it wrong. We can only do 5 games. We can only do 4 games. So I'm happy with this.
Cheers, Spencer. That's a really nice comment. I really appreciate that, my man. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. So Adam, December's competition, and then we'll move on. What is the deal? What is happening with December? Shall I bring the graphic up, or do you want to explain first?
Yeah, so I'm quite lazy lately. I like other people to make decisions for me because it relieves the pressure.
Right.
I asked you what you would like included, or what we'd like as a prize for December. Like I seem to be able to. I quite like the idea of having a prize. There's a lot more competition for it. The winner was like a kit of some sort, football shirts or whatever. If you can bring the slide up. I've done some collaboration work, reached out to a few people, and we've formed a partnership with footballkitbox.com. Anyone that follows Ellis Platten on Twitter will have seen him actually unbox one of the ones that you can win. So it's going to be a J League kit box, which is their theme for December, and the kits that are in it are majorly rare. Like, I've already been given a heads up about what's going in. They're not just going to be your standard club shirts; they're fan designed customs. So there's going to be something very, very special in the kit box. You normally get a couple of shirts in there, some apparel. You get like a few retro programs and stuff. The guys over there are absolutely incredible with what they do. And it is like a mystery box service. But we're going to have one to unbox in a couple of weeks to give you an idea of what's in there. It's really nicely presented. Right. So if you win it and don't want it for yourself, you can gift it to someone else. But I think it's going to be another good option for people to win something that's got a retail value of about 40 quid. So I hope you all take part and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Something a bit different.
Yeah. QLS Platter entering every week in December.
Quite possibly. But yeah, we'll see if we can get him dressed as a shark on the show this week. Good to see him promoting Witten. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with what we've managed to get linked up. Hopefully you all like it. It's something a bit different. Daniel, if you just listen to what I said, it definitely won't be a Norwich shirt. We're cool. Like, I thought that's one of the main things. Like, let's not get a UK shirt where we're all going to get annoyed if we get something that we don't want. So it'll be something J League, something none of your mates will have. Sherman, you don't wear Pokemon. Sorry. So you'll get decent stuff in there. We've both had one actually before, James.
We have. They were incredible.
Decent
really
stuff.
So thank you very much to Football Kit Box for getting involved with this. And as I said, enter throughout December and you have a chance to win that. So, Adam, let's get on to the main event. Are you ready?
I hope everyone's ready to rumble.
Yeah. So this man needs no introduction. I can see him I can see him in the chat. I can see him. He's ready and raring to go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is none other than Steak Bake himself, Matt Blake. How the hell are you doing, my man?
I'm just looking at Adam's beard. The baby face.
I'm surprised for banter you didn't cut yours off whilst we were on air.
No, I can't do that, mate. Absolute potato. I can't do that. No way.
How are you? How was lockdown 2.0 been for you, first of all?
It's terrible, isn't it? It's just, what can you do? There's only so many times you can walk the dog. Do you know what I mean? You go out and walk with the kids, and obviously no gyms, no nothing. So I'm working, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough with no football. Football's our lives, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Let's first off start talking about Ipswich Wanderers, how things are going at the moment. Obviously, you joined during the summer. How have things been going? You seem very happy at Ipswich Wanderers. Let's say that your social media posts especially are good, they're refreshing. Do you know what I mean? That you seem very content.
Trolling, just having a laugh. I think that's the stage that I'm at with my age and stuff. I want to have fun and stuff now as well. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to be, drawn into anything. I want to be happy and be in a good space around some good lads, and that's where I am. And it is a good club, and we're doing really well. So shame about the lockdown, but it is what it is.
Best club in Suffolk, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Some of your social media work since you've been there must have got the club so many more views than I had before. It's
fun on Twitter. Yeah, it's definitely my playground. People think I'm a bit of a bully and a troll, and that it's not the case. It's just I just like to have a bit of fun on there, and the gifts ain't even they're not even on me. Like, I get forced to do these gifts.
We heard that your gift for this year wasn't actually your original idea. Didn't you turn up with some steak or something? You were going to do something completely different.
I turned up with like 30 quid's worth of fillet steak and like 4 bottles of champagne. And I was just I don't know what I was going to go crazy and start popping all the champagne, frying steak around, whatever. And then the lad said something about money and the stereotype and all that. And Steve went, I've got some change in me ashtray in my motor. I'll go and get it. He comes back in with a pile of money. He's like, let's do this then. We're going to do this, and I'm going to pretend to keep giving you money, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, you're going to go more, and I'm just going to slam it into your chest. And that's what we done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It proper took off as well.
Huh?
It proper took off as well when it first got revealed. So
yeah, I mean, it's just, it gives people the ump and it makes people smile, doesn't it? At the same time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So
you think it works?
So let's talk about how things are going at Ipswich first of all.
Scarf first. Should we talk about
yes, we've already had that. Is it a Leiston scarf?
It is. Yeah.
Mrs. won't turn the heating on. I got to wear the Leiston scarf.
So obviously, I know you've mentioned about the good things that are going on at Ipswich at the moment, especially with everything that's been kind of going on this season. Has there been any sort of difficulties getting to know players at a certain point? How is the dressing room atmosphere at the moment? Because I can imagine for somebody like yourself and such a big character, has that been a bit of a struggle in terms of not being able to do the kind of normal stuff that you would do to settle into a dressing room? Because as I said, it's not normal at the moment, is it? What's going on with football?
Say that I'm a big character, like I am once I get to know people, but like it's horrible when you first turn up with a group and you don't know anyone. I didn't really know anyone really. I knew Percy a little bit and Barb's a little bit, but Franny was the one who got me over. Franny was like, "You got to come over. I want to play with you." Blah blah blah. And I ain't seen him since. He ain't turned up. He went there because Franny's got on the blower with me, but he ain't turned up.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the lads were welcoming and that, and yeah, it's just been good fun. Do you know what I mean? And I settled right in, and the bounce was flying, and now Dev's there. It makes it a little bit more extra.
Oh, God, yeah. We know Dev quite well. I mean, I've only known him from afar and watching him, but he's just a character, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's amazing.
That's what it is.
He's mad. Like he's mad on the pitch. Is he as mad off the pitch as what he is on it?
Nah. He's real chilled and stuff when you chat to him outside of football. But I think his mind just switches in. He goes into a different space as soon as he puts his football boots on. He's sitting there. He's sitting next to you on the bench in the change room, and he's just ready to go. And then I turn around, and he's busting press ups. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's just a different breed, fella. I'd rather be in the same shirt as him than a different one and playing against him.
Yeah, we saw that, didn't we, when he played for Stowe before he moved over to you guys. We obviously for the game against Witten, didn't he? Absolutely, he just destroyed people. He didn't even have to do anything. He just talked and talked and talked. He never shut up the entire game. It was brilliant.
I didn't really know him before he come, but I remember Leiston, we went over to play Coggeshall in a friendly, and I think Dev was on the bench. You might remember it, to be fair. He was on the bench, and I think he got subbed on at half time or just in at half time. He's come on and he speared me. He's just speared me. Do you know what I mean? He just literally wiped me out. I stood up, looked at him like, "Are you having a laugh? Are you actually being serious?" Do you know what I mean? He weren't having none of it. And he's just run off like he's done nothing wrong.
I think that's the thing, like at the level of football, you draw that line where there's some players that are out there just to be absolute madmen.
Yeah. There's a few crazy characters I've played with on and off the pitch. There's a few. I mean, Dev's quite wild when he's on the pitch, but there's some ones that are wild off the pitch with their banter. Patchy, Patch brothers, Grantham.
Yeah.
Crazy guy. I've got some stories about Patch. I might drop him on in a little while. I'll get warmed up first, and I might drop him on.
We've already got quite a few. I don't know if this is one of your questions for later on, Adam, but we've already got quite a few people in the chat asking about it. So I might as well ask you now. For those who don't know the story about the Astro, what's this all about?
How long we got? How long can I talk about this Astro?
We can go all night, mate.
Let me just have a drink. Wait there. So this is funny, right? Because I played my first year at Leiston, and I actually got I had a S-Max, and it got smashed up. The second season, I got smashed into in the car. I ripped it off anyway, and I had no car.
Right.
So Crispy's got his own forecourt and this, that, and the other, and he was, I think, well, I'd say he's oblivious to how bad the car was when he sold it to me, but he sold me the car. Do you know what I mean? And or took it off something he owed me or whatever. Anyway, this car, just like the engine, if it was cold and it went below 2,000 revs, you just lose the accelerator and you'd be stuck. You know what I mean? You just literally lose the accelerator. I was wondering, like, you literally wonder if it's got an engine in it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've got some stories of it. I mean, the worst one, the level of anxiety in my body when I go with it. Well, I've got the missus beside me. I've got the kids in the back, and I've gone to Norwich. I've shopped in the mall, right? And I'm coming out the Chapelfield Mall, and the car's cold. It can't go below 2,000 revs, yeah. And I'm sitting on, you know, when you come out of Chapelfield Mall and it's on the hill as well.
Yes.
Sitting in there, like, smoke covering the whole mall. Like, people were right there staring at me, looking at me. Why is he revving the absolute pants out of his car? And I can't explain to him that, you know, Leiston chairman sold me a bag of shit. You know, I can't. My missus is giving me looking, and the kids are giving it like, why is it so foggy outside? It's just smoke, the engine blow up. You know what I mean? It couldn't go below 2,000 revs. And then I sold it. I sold it. It's gone. Finally. I got some money back on it. But I sold it to a foreign guy, and I told him that there was a fault with the accelerator, right?
Right.
I sold it. 2 days later, I was pulled up at the traffic lights near the pub, right in the centre of Thetford. He didn't know I was in my new car, so I was kind of hiding a little bit, like, whoa, that's the car sort of thing. And I'll see him pull up, and then he'd give it that, where the engine's gone. Mate, someone out of there. I was like, I don't even want him seeing me. Yeah, yeah. And then I got another story. This is honestly, this is no banter. I'm driving to football, so I'm going. Oh, where am I going? I'm going to Leiston. So I think I'm between Stow and Needham. Tunes are on. I'm on the way to football. I'm having a laugh, whatever. I'm singing to myself, and I turn. I look in the wing mirror. I look like that, and I look back. The wing mirror just falls off. The wing mirror just falls off, and it gets worse because I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? The wing was gone, and I look the other side, and the glass falls off that one. I'm not bantering. I've got no windows. Whereas it must have been where it's cold and they've been siliconed on. They're both just falling off. So I'm driving blind to football.
It's probably not really. You know, the car doesn't sound like great repayment for whatever debt it was that you're owed.
Yeah, no, not the best. No, not the best. But it got me to A to B. So you know,
for a little while.
A loud man on 9,000 revs. But yeah,
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Chase Bloomfield. I wish this was a joke.
I don't tell lies. I tell you.
So let's kind of rewind from Ipswich Wanderers a bit. Obviously, the season beforehand, you were at Stow. Now, when it was announced that you were leaving or released, however you want to describe it, a lot went down on social media.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of comments.
Bailey's on it. I need to get in the festive mood.
No worries, my man. No worries. So there was a lot said. There was a lot of comments that were flying around.
Yeah.
You kind of, I wouldn't say retracted, but you took certain posts down, etc.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, because I crossed the line a little bit. Yeah.
Are you able to explain to people from your side of it what happened in terms of the contract, in terms of how it was talked, how it was discussed with you? What happened ultimately with you leaving Stow? Because I suppose that, a lot of people will want to hear about it. What happened from your perspective?
Well, first and foremost, I like Rick. I have no problem with Rick. He's a great guy. Do you know what I mean? He's good to be around. He's got good energy. He's kind. But the issue we went through with my contract was, in my eyes, just like wrong. And I don't know if it was him or whoever. But I felt mistreated.
Right.
And, so basically, what it was, I've just come out of Leiston, yeah, and I've been going through hell and back with them, and we'll get into that later. But
yeah.
So I've come out of Leiston, and he knows the situation I've gone through, etc., with my option and not being going on to whatever. But he knew the situation. So anyway, obviously, it was almost like the perfect move for me because obviously all my friends were there.
Yeah.
So it was a great move to go there. And like I said, he said, you got a 2-year contract. So with all the other boys and this, that, and the other, I was like, yeah. I was like, no option. He's like, no option. I was like, so we know what happened at Leiston, and we made a joke of it. I said, no option, and yeah, he agreed. And then obviously, it come out on the radio that I've got a 2-year deal, and on Twitter, I've got a 2-year deal, and this, that, and the other. And
yeah,
so I signed the deal at training, and then it was about 2 weeks later, I started feeling a certain way because they come with another contract. And this is the truth, and I'm not slating them. This is the truth. Like, come with another contract and said, "Oh, we made a mistake on the first one. You got to sign this one." I didn't want to sit there reading, going and looking through it. So I just thought, this is a bit odd, but I'm going to sign it anyway. Yeah, it is what it is. A 2-year, it's a 2-year. That's what we agreed to, sort of thing. So I signed the new contract that was supposed to be a mistake on the first one. So I signed it, and we carried on playing and this and doing all right. But I had this in my mind the whole time. When I was at Stow, I didn't never tell no one about it, and I tell you, but I had it in my mind that something was up. There weren't something quite right with these contracts, you know what I mean?
Right.
It did affect me really in terms of playing and stuff. But anyway, so the COVID come.
Yeah.
The COVID come, and then and obviously we're locked down and this, that, and the other. And I'm expecting pay cuts and stuff like that's fair enough because we can all see how tough it is for clubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of the lads there are on good money and stuff, and I accept it that we're going to take pay cuts and this, that, and the other. But I then found out, and I was aware that the pay cuts weren't the same. Like if they just said like there's a percentage pay cut with everyone, then I'm cool with that. A percentage of everyone's money, yeah. But when someone's getting done this much and someone's getting done this much, is I took offence to it, a little bit, right? But I didn't say nothing. So I said, like, look, I'm going to try and talk to my boss at work, and I'm going to try and make up my money at work and whatnot, which I was trying to do. And then it all come out, and he'd phoned me and said, I said, how does it work? I said, I'm willing to take the pay cut, but how does it work? Because I'm on a 2-year deal. He's like, no, you want a year-over-year option. So I said, hold on. I said, that ain't what we agreed to. I said, we knew what I went for at Leiston. Like, I signed a 2-year deal, like the rest of the boys. He's gone, no, everyone's on a year-over-year option. If I said that, then I'm sorry, sort of thing. And I was like, wow. But then, even that hit me hard. I was like, whoa, okay, I'm kind of backed into a corner, sort of thing. And then there was one thing that Rick, and I have told him that I didn't like it, but he texted me and he said he's offered me this new deal for the option year for another year, and he tried to manipulate me a little bit, and he said that I'm going to offer you this much, and you got 24 hours to decide if you want to take the deal. And I thought, it wasn't even the end of that season. Do you know what I mean? So I just felt like this is just wrong, like in my eyes, and I took offence to it. And then I just took to Twitter because I don't know.
So it was directly after those messages were exchanged that you then went. So it was right at the height of emotions.
Basically, I'll be honest with you, boys. Basically, we had a final payment to be paid, for that month. Fair play to Stowe, they paid everyone, but then after they paid it, and then I was just like, I ain't doing this. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not being manipulated as well into taking a lot less than other people were getting. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to get too much into it, but you can kind of understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And then I just took to Twitter because the funny thing was kind of in lockdown, it's kind of the easiest thing to do. Whether it's right or wrong, I always try and not cross the line with anybody and just try and make a little bit of a joke out of situations. And I've apologized to him. I like Rick. I think he's a diamond. I generally do. Even now, I do like him, and I wish him well. Do you know what I mean? But I just took offence to a few things and just made light of him, really.
One of the tricky things around it is for some time afterwards, I'm sure you won't mind me saying, there was a point where you sort of said, I don't know whether just to hang up the boots and just stop playing altogether.
I had enough, boys, because I went through what I went through at Leiston, and then off the back of that, within that time, I was in a real bad place, which I'll get into again in a little while. And And then this happened. I thought, right, I'm with the boys. Rick's decent. He still is decent. I'm not saying
yeah.
it. Guy,
we know what you mean. Yeah,
we sorted it. But I'm with. Rick's a decent guy. Dale's there. I know Dale really well. He's known me since I've been a little boy. I like him. I like Muzzy. I got a lot of time for Muzzy too. All my friends are there, and the fans at Stowe are the best fans I've played for.
They were proper sad, I think, when you left. And I've even had questions come in to sort of say, would you consider going back? And stuff like that. They're still asking those questions despite what they've said. Do you know what I mean? Despite what they've seen. You
never say never, do you? Do you know what I mean? But I went there. I went there and watched the game.
Yeah.
I went there and watched the game. I got no problem with anyone. Me and Rick, I shook hands with all the boys. It was lovely to see the lads. And and get some stick off the boys. But I mean, you never but I mean, it's all over and done with now. I mean, I just made a joke out of something that was quite serious, and because I don't want to get aggressive and be that guy. I want to kind of like make a joke out of something I'm really annoyed of, but just make a little joke out of it instead.
Yeah,
burn too much energy like that. Do you know what I mean?
So is that why they were deleted?
I deleted because me and Rick come to an agreement over the phone, and we sorted everything out. And after that was sorted, I just felt like I didn't really need this on my Twitter no more. Like we've patched everything up and we're cool. And I like Rick. Like I say, I'll say it 100 times. I tell people I like Rick, and I think he's going through a tough time too now. And when I went to the game, I said, like, I'm thinking about you. You know what I mean? I hope you're all right and stuff. And you know what I mean? He's not an enemy or nothing like that. I wish him all the best, and I wish they all the best, and their fans, because the fans are great, and the players.
You quickly became a fan's favourite at Stowe, I think. Like that first game, you came on as a sub against Norwich United and made quite an impact.
We were there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were both there for that game.
Yeah.
Looking back,
I mean, John Hilditch weren't too happy with me after. I mean, he had me in his room after, trying to give me little shots in the ribs. You know what I mean? But that was a good game, and it was a good way to what a game to settle into. You know, I'm going back to my old club. I'm with Stowe, it's a new club, this, that, and the other. And I felt like I changed the game that game. You know, there's a dead game, wasn't it? And the pitch.
God, yeah, it was.
It was horrible.
I think Joshy scored one, didn't he? With a header. I think I whipped it in, sort of flicked it on and scored a header, and then it scored the winner. But yeah, that was a good day. I won't forget that one. That's good.
Yeah,
obviously you're part of something that was quite special at Stowe last year, and
really
big squad as well, like a really big squad.
I've never seen anything like it, really. Well, to be fair, I have at Leiston there. We'll get into that, but there was a great squad at Leiston with some serious players there. But Stowe, there's some serious players at Stowe. Do you know what I mean? And far too good for step 5, in my opinion. You know, probably win the league above easily, in my opinion. That team that we had, and and it was good. It was just a good vibe. Just so many characters. You got Dave Cowley. Do you know what I mean? The first time I met Cowley, I'm sitting in the change room. He's sitting next to me. And I'm sitting there. I've never really spoke to the guy, and he goes, Blakey. I turn around. He's got no clothes on. He's got his private beer. I mean, he's gone. No, do I look all right? Do I look all right? You know, I've never met the guy. Like that's just the type of characters we had in there. Do you know what I mean? Williams, another massive character. You know, all JJ Bullion. It's just good to be around, and that's what you love about football. It's not just the football. It's like being around the boys as well. And no one would leave the club till sort of 6:30, 7. Do you know what I mean? And it's a good vibe. You know it. You've been there, so you've seen it after.
I mean, obviously, like being one of the things that stood out for me last year. I don't know how it compares for you. Is when Stowe drew a game, dropped a point last year. The mood afterwards.
Hey, Muzzy's gonna hate me for saying it, especially now he's gaffer. But every time Rick was away, watching Conor McGregor or something special like that, we'd just do on a massive trip with his sons or whatever, and he'd leave in charge. And I know he's going thinking I've drawn.
Yeah,
because we always used to draw when Muzzy was in charge.
Yeah, I can remember it was Haverhill away or something. I think I'm not sure if you were in by then or not. And the mood afterwards was bad.
Because that's
you think they'd been hammered. You think they'd been hammered 5 or 6-0.
What's that?
You'd think they'd been hammered 5 or 6-0 sometimes.
That's where the winning mentality comes in. Like people want to win, and their drawing it's not even acceptable. With players, in that dressing room, it's not even acceptable. You win every week, every game.
Because obviously we had Bucked on obviously a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? And he alluded to something very similar when remind me who it was, Cornard, wasn't it? That was it Cornard? Or bottom who's bottom of the table with a furlough? That's it, Wisbech.
Yeah,
obviously you played them recently and won 4-0, but that's not acceptable.
It's not.
It's those standards, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? For certain teams, it's those standards that I can imagine it must be incredible to be a part of something like that.
It's frustrating being in a good side as well, because sometimes like before that Wisbech game, everyone's thinking we're going to do them 10-0. We'll score 10. We're going to score 10, and everyone's getting like that, and that's already messing up the mentality going into the game, being like that. Do you know what I mean? And you're always expected to score loads of goals, and I hate it. And I'm one of them for saying if we win 1-0, we win 1-0. If we win 10-0, we win 10-0. It's still 3 points, yeah? But at the end of the day, we won 4-0, but we ain't out of first gear.
Yeah.
So it's a problem. Do you know what I mean?
I just want to get somebody's comment up on the screen before we go on to Leiston, because that is going to be the next topic. Jack says on here, are you sure that Stowe fans are the best? What about Coops, Ron and Lance at Leiston? And then Michael's followed up saying, yes, they are by far the best set of fans from Stowe.
Well, them Leiston fans are the same ones giving me abuse all over.
You get some bother, don't you, from them?
Yeah, I get some bother. So... and they're not going to like that. Like, I got that Leiston scarf around my neck, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, they, like I said, we'll get into it. They think I'm a bully and they think that I'm tearing the place up. But we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Leiston. Adam will probably know more about this than I will, in terms of maybe some of what was talked about and why you happened to leave Leiston. So from your perspective, talk to us about what happened there, because obviously there is a lot to unpack from start to finish, really.
Basically, I went there and I met Glenn and TK and I went there and it was started off struggling really in pre-season and stuff, but I went there and I told them when I met him that I wanted to make Leiston my stepping stone. I wanted to get into the full-time game. Like, that's something I was passionate about doing. I thought I could have done that at Norwich United at step 5, scoring 45, 50 goals a season. But no, right. In all honesty, this is, truthful. You ain't going to get a pro move really playing at step 5. You ain't. You've got to play at step 3, step 2, and then prove yourself, and then you go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I signed to Leiston on the basis of using it as a bit of a platform for me, and I knew Finchy and a couple of lads maybe, and I went there, and I done really well. I scored 42. I won the Golden Boot. I won all the trophies at the awards, and it's just everything that went with it. Scoring at Bromley away, and then scoring two at home to Bromley and stuff, and it was just a great season. Do you know what I mean? And I really enjoyed it. And it was unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? And I was like sky high. Nothing could defeat me. I would score nearly every game. I was like vicious in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's so arrogant, the things I was doing. Like, do you know what I mean? I was just scoring from anywhere, coming home from football on a Saturday, thinking, how have I done that?
Yeah.
Not in an arrogant way. Do you know what I mean? But just thinking, like, Christ, I was just so confident.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I was clueless to everything that goes on within contracts and stuff when I signed to Leiston. I didn't know what an option is. I didn't even know. I just signed a year-over-year option. I didn't know what an option is. Now I know that an option don't favour a player whatsoever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, anyway, there's talk to me getting a move here and there and whatnot, and obviously the option gets took up, and which is fair enough. But it's just the way. I'm just gonna be blatant with it. It's just the way the club went about their business with me. So one of the things is Billy Ricky coming in, and it don't sound like a massive move at the time because obviously they're in the same league. But like, I don't want to go on about money, but when your wages is quadrupling, right? Yeah. And you're gonna change your girls' lives, like my daughter's lives. You see what I'm saying? But it's the manner that deal got let go. That it's just I got like legitimately done over in a way. Yeah.
So what was that deal? What was the situation there? Because there will be someone like myself. I don't know what that situation was. I don't know about the move. So talk to me about that particular move. What was the situation?
Right. So Glenn had come. This is what I've been told, and this is what I believe to be true. Glenn had come in for 12.5 grand to pay for me. So he's phoned Andy, or got the agent to phone Andy, or phoned the club or whoever, and he said, I got 12.5 grand, or let me have Blakey. He went, no chance. Yeah. So he's then gone, I'll give you 15 grand. Yeah. And then it was that night. I think we had Canvey at home. I was on 39 goals, and I turned up, I played, I scored my 40th. Then I had the meeting, and I was told that I'd be given, if I stay, a big signing on fee, my wages will rise dramatically, and all this, just try and keep me basically. And
right,
he said, if he rings me tomorrow and offers what we want for you, then you can talk to the agent. I already knew what I was going to be on, and etc. And I knew the terms of the deal and everything, because they've already phoned me. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, tomorrow I come, and what was said. So tomorrow I come, and then I was on the phone to the club and stuff, and the gaffer and that, and they ain't offered the money we want for you, Blakey. So we think it's best that if you go to the papers and say you're not going to go Billericay, you're waiting for a pro move, that'll get you your pro move. You see what I mean? So I was trying to made feel, even though the money had been offered for me, I was trying to make feel that the money ain't been offered, and this will get you your pro move. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So, but then obviously I found out at a later date that he offered the money, but the deal was, Andy told Glenn that the deal had to be done before 12 the next day, right? So it got to 12:05. Now this is a story that Andy bragged to Chris Henderson and another player I don't want to mention, but Chris said it's fine for me to tell the story. We was at Dorking Wanderers, and Andy had bragged, the chairman at Leiston had bragged that because Glenn Tamplin had phoned him at 12:05, the deal was off, because he told him to ring him before 12. So now the deal's off. Now I took offence later on that I've just lost out on. It's not all about money, because I was sour because I didn't get my pro move at the end of it and that. But when you find out that you could have changed your girl's life, but because of 4 or 5 minutes of a chairman's time, you didn't. Took offence to it. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So I was really mad about that, and that's something that I've asked Andy as well, and he's denied. And I spoke to Hendo and the other player, and it's 100% the truth.
Right.
And I was furious about it, and that's just one of a number of things that I was absolutely furious about. So that happened, and then that was the end of that. And then anyway, that summer, obviously I've been promised a signing on fee, and like I said, like my wages will rise dramatically, and this, that, and the other. But the funny thing is, I had the option, and I said at the last game of that season, let's sort this out. I want to know what the deal is. I want to know what the money is and everything with the deal going in. If I stay at Leiston first, before I talk to anyone else, because you're my club, I'm loyal to you. Let's sort out what you've got for me first, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Nobody rang me. Nobody. I had League Two managers on the phone to me saying, look, we want to sign you, but they want 30 grand for you. Like, you're 28, we can't do that. Joe, we're getting people on freeze out of League Two for nothing. Like, you're not proving.
League Two.
Yeah, I had a League Two manager on my phone.
Wow.
I'm telling you that on my daughter's life, like, it's the truth.
Yeah, no, I didn't know the level, because obviously Billericay is, they're a good non-league.
I'm just talking about
what interest went up that high. That's
talking about the interest that come before the summer. Like, Billericay was just before the summer, and then then I heard nothing from Leiston really over the summer. Like I said, I had League managers on the phone. I was supposed to be signing to Bromley as well, I believe. That never materialised into anything. And then it got to the point where I'm on the phone. We're a day away from pre-season training, and I've got no deal signed. The money that's been offered and the deal that's been offered, half of it, like say he's offered to sign on for it, but he ain't offered my deal. He's just holding me on a bit of string, basically. Nothing's been sorted out, so I've got training. So I'm like, I ain't going training. If I snap my leg, I'm not going to get nothing. I'm going to be lying at the door. Yeah. So I threatened to boycott training because I was so mad. I was getting made to wait, even though lads like Chris Henderson were coming over, getting a signing on fee, getting their deal done, going to the club, signing everything, getting sorted out, but not me. No, I got pushed to the back, even though I just scored 42 and won the boot for you. And I've been pushed to the back, held on a bit of string.
Do you think there's a reason behind it?
That's literally what I was just about to ask. Why would the club do that?
I tell you what I believe is the truth. Now, I don't think Andy's going to be happy with it, or the club's going to be happy with it. But I think Andy offered me this deal on that night when we had the meeting about the whole Billy Ricky situation. I believe he offered me this deal on the basis of not actually giving it to me. Meaning, when the summer comes, we're going to get 30 grand for him anyway. So I'm not going to have to pay him this money anyway. That's why he's boycotting the payment, boycotting my deal. Because he's thinking he's going to get money from me over the summer. And then if he don't get no money from me over the summer, he might get the money in the first 10 games, because that was a lot of talk. When I come back the second season and I was a shower of shit, couldn't play, my head was gone. I still ain't been, my Connie still ain't been fronted, everything that was offered and stuff. So I'm all over the place. And people turning up to watch me and they're going, he ain't the same guy. Like,
yeah, what's happened?
He's got the whole world on his shoulders.
Yeah.
I think this infuriated Andy and the club, because they ain't got their money for me. And they've offered me the deal. He's now got to front the deal that he offered, that he didn't really want to pay, in my opinion. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it just felt like, I mean, bearing in mind, the season I was doing really well, people on the phone every other week. How you doing? Can we do anything for you? What do you need? You can imagine, boys, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, the second season, nobody rang me until it was time to go on loan to Norwich United. And I had to go on loan. And this was 2/3 of the season in. Nobody rang me.
Did you get that whole feeling of like almost being on top of the world of where you were with your performance to dropping very, very quickly in terms of mentally where you were?
I crashed and burnt hard, man, and suffered for it too. And yeah, it was tough. I mean, after that, went into like a bad sort of like mental state. I struggled with my sleep because I was so angry. I can be angry, do you know what I mean? I was so angry over the whole situation. I started going 2-3 nights no sleep, like nothing, like no sleep, nothing. And then I would go 4, 5, 6 nights, nothing, like in blocks.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So then, you know, I was struggling hard, like really hard, and then like I ain't gonna lie, I was going flat out mental, like mental, and I got to the point where, you know, I did think about sectioning myself because I was real messed up, and it's crazy that because I got to grips with it a long while after that, and it was just the fact that I had to tell myself that, you know, I was feeling that way because I hadn't slept. And it's just my mind in overdrive and me literally going crazy.
Yeah.
So I was real messed up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was really tough. And then not only that, so I go on loan to Norwich United and then I don't get paid. I'm on the phone like, you ain't paying my money. I want my mortgage going out. I got this and that and the other going out. All the lads have been paid. You ain't paid my money. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Paid 2 days later than the boys. This was ridiculous. It felt like mind games to me. They're going to disagree and they're going to say, oh, you just, you know, you're kicking up. You got paid, so what you worrying about? But it's just bullshit. Why don't I get paid at the same time as them? Especially when I was in that position and that mental state. You see what I'm saying?
What I was about to say, just leading on, do you feel like, obviously you said you like, makes you angry like everything else like at the time. Do you feel like all those tiny niggly things almost accelerated things each time and made maybe a small thing would make things much worse for you at the time when you were living it, just because of how bad
I was that bad. I couldn't even be around my 2 little girls, right? I couldn't even be around my 2 little girls because they were talking too loud. That's how that would affect me, my mind. You see what I mean? So if someone's saying something to me about the club, or I'm hearing a player, rightly so, say, oh, he's gone, he's finished, or, you know, he ain't playing so well, or whatever. You think, well, that's going to do it to me if I can't even process my daughter's talking too loud.
Yeah.
I was just mangled from every corner. You know what I mean?
So
and then
at that point, from a club perspective, were they, obviously before you went on loan, that gap between the season starting and then the loan period, were they inviting you in terms of, did they want you to come to training? Was anything like that available?
Yeah, no, I had to go training because listen, I tell you now, boys, if I didn't go training, I started kicking up like I can't deal with it. I turn up on the back of having no sleep at all, right? So I go, I do a whole week no sleep. I have to go training, have to play, have to go training, have to play. Because if I don't, I miss 2 training sessions. There goes your Connie. I've got kids to feed.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you still, there are certain things within it, because again, I don't know these side of things. I've never seen a contract at this kind of level. So those kind of things are written in that you have to turn up.
Yeah, I think you can miss 2, 3, 4 sessions. But I didn't want to, and I was too arrogant to miss a session because I wasn't telling anybody how I felt. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm saying I can't be there today because I ain't slept, how does that look? I had the same trouble at work. I can't be there today because I ain't slept. They're like, "What do you mean? What do you mean you can't come in because you ain't slept?"
Do you think like
it's almost borderline pathetic, isn't it?
So like how you like how thing? Yeah, I wouldn't say it's pathetic. It's like
it's
I get it. Like but with the way that you then started to feel mentally because of what happened. How bad was like the physical effect on you? Not only like football or performance and stuff, but actually your own health, well-being, and day to day. Like this isn't a conversation I was expecting to have at all. It's like completely taken me by surprise.
I told you.
Yeah,
but the physical effect was bad too because my shoulder was jammed, so I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't really do anything. All I could do was just try and sleep and sit around and try to spend as much time around, my family and try and take care of my own situation within. And I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't talk to my mum. I wouldn't talk to my missus. I wouldn't talk to no one. I just sit there as a little ball of anger, not sleeping. Right. So it took a real bad effect on me. Not just football and not just my sleep. It's like talking to your family, your girls. Why is daddy like that? And do you know what I mean? It's just everything.
Yeah.
So what was the turning point then? What was the point where you said,
"Getting the hell out of there"? That was the turning point. I was like, oh. You know what I mean? No, but look, I'll get to it as well. I'm not finished. Like, I'm finished on the whole mental health thing, and that I got out of that. I might talk about it later how I did, but
right.
So the issue is like Boards took over as gaffer, right? And me and Boards, I love Boards. I think Boards is a great guy, but we didn't see eye to eye in a change room. We had different views, etc., etc. And he ended up resigning. But before he resigned, he told me everything. Right. I don't care if he's got the hump with me saying this, but he told me everything. Oh, he's been saying this about you, and he's been saying this. They don't want you at the club. It's too much money for them. It's a burden on them. They don't even want you here, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, nice one, Boards. Like I respected him for telling me because at the end of the day, he's just played the football club's cards. Played their cards. Now I can go in like, you don't want me here, so let's sort something out now. This is my way out. Yeah. That's what I had to do. So I got sorted. Andy's like, right, okay. Sat me down. We had a great conversation, to be fair. Times I talk to Andy, it's like we ain't got no problem with each other. But, I see through the flat out lies, you know what I mean? But anyway, he sat there, we agreed a term to get out and for me to go. I had a year left and I ended up taking a payment for 10 months after I left, basically. But the funny thing was, I took the letter, we done a letter of agreement, a contract to my money for 10 months, like I say, and but at the bottom of the letter of agreement, I read it, and I started getting that feeling again. It's similar to the one that I got at Stowe when I signed the second Connie, right? I started getting this feeling. It said there will be no bad blood between player and club, etc. So I thought, hold on, I thought they could use this to their advantage here and not pay me this money that I'm more than entitled to because I've gone through hell of that, right? So then one night, I'm sitting there. I just left Leiston. I'm 2 months into my payments, leaving Leiston. I'm sitting there. I got my poorly daughter on my lap. I'm just putting her to bed. I get a phone call. I get a text. I'm gonna go see my legal department. This is from Andy Crisp, and I'll fully show it right now for everybody. I don't care, right? I don't want to, but you got to believe me, right? I'm gonna go to my legal department you've been talking bad about the club, telling Glenn and TK not to go back to Leiston. I said, I didn't say that. So he rings me up, right? Bearing in mind my daughter's ill and everything I've been through, and he rings me up, right? And he says, you tell me who's the bully.
Hello, Andy. How you doing, mate? All right? Yeah, I want to know what this is all about. I ain't got a clue what you're on about. TK just said that, what are you doing come back to this club? I didn't say that, Andy. All I said to him that it's going to be tough with, like I said in the text, I said it's going to be tough with the group of players that were still there. You don't need to contact me. You're out of order. You're out of order. It's nothing to do with our club. Andy, I don't know what you're going on about. You pulled something out of thin air and made a deal out of it. No. I'm bigger than that, mate. I'll tell you what. Yeah, but bigger than what? You enjoy your life at Step 5. You enjoy it, mate. That's fine. It's not a problem. But I can't understand. You're totally out of order. But Andy, I don't understand what you're on about. TK's come up to me, and he's here with me now, and he'll tell you. You come up and say, what the fuck are you doing coming back to our club? When have I said that then?
All right, that's what he said to me first, right? Now, this is TK. Now, TK is going to be absolutely fuming. I'm playing him, yeah? But I have to do this shit to air the situation because I'm still so mad about it and never took an apology, yeah? So this is TK.
Yeah, I'll give you a bit of respect. He's on the back of having a few beers on the coach. Don't even get involved, mate. No. Stay away. Yeah, but he's got to pay me my money in 2 days. He's not going to, is he? So I might have to pop over and see him. No, if you ain't going to pay your money, mate, that's got nothing to do with what's been said. That's fucking a verbal agreement. Or is it a contract? No, he's contracted, yeah. Yeah, but your contract, so he can't not pay you. So the thing is, you're still due your money, mate. At the end of the day, we all know people get brave when they've had a few drinks, mate. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't even fucking go there, mate. I would just wait until your money's paid. If your money's not paid, then you make a phone call, say, why's my money not paid? And just say, look, I had an honest conversation with TK. I told him what the situation was at the club, Andy. At the end of the day, that's me voicing my opinion. And at the end of the day, Andy, I'm not telling you nothing you didn't know yourself. That's it. That's what I can't understand. He's had a few beers and he's given me a bit of aggro, do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But listen, mate, I just don't get fucking involved. Oh, no. All right, see you. Life's too short, bud. No.
Life is too short.
Listen to you. You take care anyway, all right? Look after yourself, right? Yeah, I'll give you a bit.
Right, so that was said, yeah. And then I've got another voice now. I can't be bothered to keep dragging it out, but then the threats come with I'm going to go see my legal department and stuff. Basically trying to make up this big thing that I said to TK and Glenn, you ain't going back to the club, it's a shithole, blah, blah, blah. I never said nothing. I just said with a group of players that were there at the time, we had 7 players at pre-season training. 7 players.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, look, it's struggling. Like, you've got a job on your hands. Like, if you go back there, make sure you're in a place where you can dictate, get a few players in and whatnot. You know what I mean? Andy's took it and tried to use it against me to not pay me the payout. Yeah. The terms of the contract that we know bad blood spilled between players. You see what I'm saying? See where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to be paid on the Tuesday. So I contacted the FA. I've spoke to my friend who's quite high up in the FA, and I said what I had. I was going to take him to the cleaners. I was going to take him to the laundrette, put him on a hot wash. I'm not kidding you. If he weren't going to pay me. Yeah. And I sent him a message that long. Yeah. Explaining what I'm going to do to him. I've recorded them and more. Yeah.
And he replied, okay.
He didn't reply nothing. Fair play to Glenn. I ended up getting my money. Do you know what I mean? Glenn was like, fucking square the boy up. You know what I mean? Whatever. But you see what I mean, boys? I'm so mad about it, and I've never accepted an apology. I've never got one.
You say how mad you get, right? I can't believe how calm you were.
Even now, when you're listening to that, you see what I'm saying? Because listen, I've got my ill daughter on my lap here before that conversation. Yeah, now I'll tell you a story, right? I'll tell you a story right now. On that night when I had the interview with for the Billericay situation, yeah, I was on 9 goals, right? I was sitting in hospital. My daughter, who I didn't know, she had to have a lumbar puncture. Yeah, she was like badly ill with a bad infection. Yeah, I left my missus crying her eyes out. I drove to football crying my eyes out the whole way because I didn't know if my daughter was even going to survive. And I put all that on the fucking line, yeah, to play for this football club. Do you see what I'm saying? I left and my daughter in the hospital to go play at this football club, and I've been treated like this.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
That's what makes me mad.
You can understand why, man.
That's why I'm getting it off my chest. I don't care if anyone's got a problem with it. He can ring me up tomorrow, try and get me done. I don't care. It's irrelevant. It's the truth, what I'm saying. And that's the situation. And that's what I've been through and more. Yeah, if I can sit here and write, I was going to write everything down. I thought, nah, I'll just say it. I think there's more. There is more.
How hard was it for you to stay calm on that phone call to him?
Well, I knew I had him on record. I knew he's had the drinks, and I knew he's talking tough. So what? He's setting himself up. If I can control his feelings like that from not doing nothing wrong,
because that must have been hard to listen to. It must have been hard to listen to when he was saying that stuff.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Always, but then it's no different to 100 other things that I've had to listen to. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from? So now, to be honest with you, I'm going to be flat out honest with you, right? I found it so hard to hold my rag and be professional, and I think I'm a changed man today for not reacting in a way that you know is unforgivable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've had to be a snake and record phone calls. That is out of my character. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I've had to do that in order to make sure I get my money because I've got kids to feed.
Yeah.
Do you understand where I'm coming from? It's not. It's out of my character. I'm feeling like a right bitch filming someone trying to set them up on a phone call.
But all you're doing is protecting yourself.
That's what I mean. It's just ridiculous. I can't deal with all these contracts and all this palaver. Now, I'd rather just go face to face, sort it out. And if you ain't giving me what you said you're going to give me, or you're not treating me the way I want to be treated, or the way you said you was going to treat me, then we've got a problem. Like that. That's how I feel. Because I got to go and because I feel like a snide. I feel like a right fraud. Do you know what I mean? But I had to do it.
So how? So go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say. So how has it affected you having the last few years of everyone talking about you and everyone formulating opinions about you, and you having to keep quiet because you know. For what people see from you from social media and from what people see about the kind of things you tweet out, it is very jokey. It is very, you know, some will say maybe a bit of a wind-up merchant. I don't know. For you, how difficult has it been having people talking about you and you having to be quiet until this point? Because it must be very difficult for people to say certain things about you, and you know that's not the truth. That's not who you really are. What has that done to you from a mental perspective, and how have you coped with it? Because that can't have been easy over these years to deal with.
Started off really hard. Like I said, it was one of the things because I was so passionate about playing for the club, playing well, scoring goals, being a great teammate, playing with my mates and not letting them down as well. And I tried to not let it get to me, but it sucks you in. Like you finished after that. Like once things like that start happening, it takes massive effect. And like I said, it did with my sleep, my whole life, my work. I couldn't even go to work. It took a massive effect on me. Do you know what I mean? And it's tough because like you said, I've gone from here and I've gone crash, boom. And while I'm crashing, I'm getting stamped on week in, week out. And I'm playing football I'm playing football for Leiston, yeah. And I've got Coops, yeah. And I'm not scared to air him on it, yeah. Sitting on the sideline, Blakey, you're fucking shit in front of 200 fans, shouting it on the sideline. And he's a member of the committee. He should be on my side, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming? You see where I'm going with it? It's like, I see him after the game. I'm staring at him like, are you winding me up? It don't matter.
How would he speak to you after the game?
Sure.
Talk to you like that.
They don't want me in their face. I'm trying to talk to him. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, do you know what I mean? They don't want me in their face. They just hover around. But that's the thing, boys. Football's all about opinions, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. But not a member of the committee shelling me in front of 200 fans like it's okay.
Yeah.
When I'm going through, but then again, they don't know what I'm going through. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's It was hard, man. It was hard to not break out and literally go bananas.
So what stopped you?
My kids.
Right.
And that's the reality of it. My kids stopped me.
Yeah.
Where's that going to get me? It's not going to get me nowhere. It's going to make the situation worse. And it's the same old story. Who looks the bad one then?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a completely different level of the game. But I remember having a conversation during the summer, and Adam, you might well remember this as well, when I spoke to Paul Hayes. And he had a very similar situation when his contractual side of things, when he was playing for Scunthorpe.
He got absolutely bad, didn't he?
Chairman went to the press, started saying this and that about him. And he thought, what do I do? If I come out and I talk, people are going to go, right, well, it's him versus him. Who do we believe? If I stay silent, I then have to take a certain amount of hit from the fans. But do I then gain some sort of credibility with other clubs for not speaking up and for not coming out and starting to talk about these things? He didn't know how to handle it at the time. He stayed silent.
I know how he should have handled it. Jumped straight on Twitter and got tweeting. That's what
well, I don't know if Twitter was around back then, but I know what you mean.
Make a t-shirt up, wave some steak around and go for it, mate.
Fucking with a steak. You know what I mean? That's the point I got to. I've got to a point where it's laughable.
Yeah.
Or I had got to the point where it's laughable. Do you know what I mean? And I can't react. I can't go. I said to him, I'm going to come to your forecourt tomorrow. I'm going to come there and come see you and see why you ain't paying me. See what the deal is. But then I thought, what am I going there for? I'm going to lose my rag. I'm going to go bananas. I can't go there. Just sit back, do it professional, be a snake, be a little bit of a snide, record the phone call, good night, curtains drawn, you're paying me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound arrogant, yeah, but I'm being as truthful as I can and I'm being myself.
No, appreciate reflecting it. Back on that, like, so successful in that first season, like golden boot and everything. In the changing room, you must have been literally buzzing on top of the world, going for it. How different were you in the changing room that second season after all of that shit had happened?
To be honest,
were you a different person at the club or not?
I was just looking around, thinking who's going to turn on me next, because there was players in the dressing room as well, the second season and the third season, that turned their back, not as a friend or nothing like that, but I can see now. I look back at it, I could see I was no good, right? And I could see why players would get super duper angry with me playing with me on the same pitch in the same team. I can see it now, but I just sit there, blood boiling, looking around, thinking who's turning on me next. That's all I do.
Yeah.
There's a little. See, this is quite fucking sad, really. But like, there's a little sink in the Leiston changing rooms, and every single game before the game, I used to go up to the sink, dash water in my face, and look in the mirror, and I go, "What the fuck are you doing here?" To myself.
When did that start?
Probably 2-3 games into the second season, because I was just like I was trapped. I had to stay there because I had to get my money, and that's as blatant as it is. I'm being blatant. I got a family. If I was on my own, I'd have gone bananas, smashed the place up, and left. I would have, because I wouldn't have been able to hold my temper. I've got kids. Yeah. I've got 2 little girls. I've got a family to feed. I can't go bananas no more. I've got to be a grown up. I've got to be an adult. I've got to get my money now.
Yeah,
that's what I had to do. But I was disgusted in myself that I had to stay there.
Yeah. So I suppose then, as you alluded to earlier on, what then happens at Stowe, from your perspective?
There we go.
You can completely understand why it was at that point that you then decided to take things to Twitter and air things out.
Yeah.
Because there's just been a build-up that no one knows about. Yeah. They're only hearing rumors. They're only hearing certain stories and not directly from you. And then everything's just kind of been building up and building up and building up. And then this happens. And then it's just like, right, it must have been just, I can't take this anymore. I can't do this. What is the point? What's the point of me? What's the point of me trying?
I was finished after the whole Stowe situation. I was finished. I went and bought a motocross bike. I was like, man, I'm going to go get some adrenaline. I'm going to go race this thing around the track all weekend. I'm just done with it. Yeah, you know what I mean, I'm going to race a motocross. That's my life now. And then I said that to myself as soon as I left Stowe, and then my phone was ringing. And then, to be fair, there was a few teams that wanted to sign me, and I started getting a little bit of I started missing the buzz. And like you're saying, when you're not around the boys, and I'm going to struggle when I quit playing football for good, but when you're not around the boys, you miss the boys as well. You want to be in that setup again. You want to be in the change room. You want the tunes blazing. Because that's your get out.
Yeah.
We're all stressed. We all do. We all go to work. We all got screaming kids and this, that, and the other. When you go there, it's like you're on a lad's holiday. Really, I know it ain't because you got to get results in it. But when you turn up, the banter's flying, people getting ripped. It's just a great place to be. Football.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to it. I couldn't leave it. So I don't know how I'm going to deal with it when it's all done, said and done. I don't know how I'll deal with it. I know I've spoke to lads about it, and it's going to be tough it is tough for a lot of lads when they quit and they stop playing football. But we'll see.
Well, I mean, Dan's asked the question. I mean, I don't know if it's part of the questions that you've got for later on, Adam, but have you given any thought at this point about what your options are going to be after football? Would coaching, would management be something you would be interested in at all?
I haven't got a clue about football.
Fair enough.
That's the reality of it. I've just took bits and pieces off every manager I played for.
Yeah.
And I've just my whole career, I've just spun off the line, got in behind and smashed the ball in the net. I don't know nothing, really. Compared to some people, I know absolutely nothing. Management, I'll be a corpse. You might as well put a mannequin there. I wouldn't know nothing. Do you give it a go? You know what I mean? I might go back to Thetford Rovers and manage them. That's where I used to play. So I might do that. Who knows? Do
you not think, though, there are different sides of management? There are the tactical side and there are the motivator sides. Do you think maybe there's any way in which you could get
I think I can motivate and bring something to the game like that. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I've got a 10-year deal at Wanderers for $7.95 a week and a packet of pork scratchings. So I've got 10 years to go.
Only $7.95.
No, but you know what I mean. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I might change my mind. I might not. I mean, management's tough. It's harder than playing, isn't it? So,
yeah, definitely. Who knows? This could be. Let's sort it out. Adam, do you want to be the coach or do you want to be the assistant?
I don't know, to be honest. I've been called Peter Griffin tonight. I don't know if football's for me anymore. if I'm completely honest. Going back to Leiston.
I don't even know. I've lost my whole journey of thought, boys. I think I've just gone on a bit of a mad one and
No. Obviously, speaking about Leiston and being there, I mean, like the last bit you touched on was like being in the dressing room, having to go up to the sink before going every time and asking why you were still there.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. Take the bad stuff away. That there was great times at Leiston. You know what I mean? And the group we had for the first couple of years was a joke. The football we was playing was frightening. There was good banter as well. There was good banter popping off everywhere. I mean, like for instance, Patch, we'll be on the coach, yeah, and we'll all be getting lashed up on the way home. The tunes will be absolutely pumping out of the coach, nearly smashing the windows, yeah. And I've said these are the good things that happen in football. So I've said to Patch, we're at the back of the coach and there's a little bit more leg room, and I've gone to Patch. I bet you can't crawl under the chair and go all the way to the top of the coach under the chairs. Yeah, so he's drunk and he's giving I can. So he's got under there, he's crawling under everyone's feet all the way to the front of the coach, yeah. But then he's come back and he can't turn, so he's come back like that, right? And he's smashed. He's absolutely steaming. He's got back and he couldn't get out, so we all pulled down his trousers and started slapping his ass at the back of the coach. And it gets funnier than that. And then Byron, you could just see a little bit of his nuts as he was sitting there, and Byron's pulled him out by his sack. Oh. He's getting his sack like that long, just yanking him out, getting him out. He was covered in stuff and dust and everything from under the seats. But like that's just the funny stories we used to do. Do you know what I mean? It's just to be funny, good banter. I got a disgusting story to tell you. We went to Westfields. We stayed away. We stayed over the night. We lost the next day. Don't want to talk about it, but yeah, we stayed over the night and. One of the lads put another lad's toothbrush up their backside.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then the lad come in to brush his teeth. I wasn't actually there, but apparently, like, I don't know if there was touch, but I think it was close. And the lad's gone, no, don't do it. So the lad got, I don't want to mention no names, but the lad got the other lad back. I don't really want to say, but he ejaculated in his Under Armour, in his bag. And then both the lads got a 2-week fine. Because we lost.
If you would have won, it would have been fine.
Yeah. We all lost and laughed about it the next day. No, before the game, actually, we was all talking about it, and they got whiff of it. And they I think they fined them 2 weeks.
The whole fine scene in football is becoming like, there's not much you can do in a change room anymore without getting a fine.
No one gets paid.
What do you like with fines?
I try and keep them under control, because if they start if they start jumping on me a little too much, then I boycott them and just say I don't want to pay no more, and then you look like the spoiled brat of the group. But no, they're good. I mean, when I was at Norwich United, we had good fines. We had fines for anything new. So if you had a new haircut, I'm getting a trim every Friday. I'm cutting my hair every Friday. I've got to pay a fine every Friday because I've had a trim, because it's new. You had new pants, new socks, new deodorant, new boots, anything new, you got fined. So obviously, our end of the season was Benidorm. I think we done it two seasons running, I think. And it was just the maddest time ever. The maddest time. Do you know what I mean? And it makes it worth it when everyone's pumping into the kitty and you go Benidorm or somewhere stinky like that. You spend it well.
Absolutely brilliant. Adam, do you want to go through some of the questions that we had sent in?
Yeah, I mean, I've got quite an array of them. I've got some that I am going to avoid. I'm going to be honest. But like, I think this survey I ran sort of really shows our audience in every light possible, from intelligent to absolutely idiotic.
Brilliant.
So let's start here. So first question, someone wants to know if you like your steak rare, medium, or well done.
If anyone has steak any other way than rare, they need to be slapped with it and sent out the door. Like you can't eat your steak anything other than rare, as far as I'm concerned. If I go into a restaurant with someone and they're like, "Can I have it well done?" They ain't my mate no more. We can't. I've got to leave and I can't talk to them no more. Who wants to chew on a tire? It's just ridiculous. You can't chew that.
It gets to a point where it's just not even tasty anymore.
No,
to be honest.
It's got to be rare. Next question. Let's go. Any from Byron?
Can I quickly reveal something, Adam?
Go on.
Before we move on. I've only ever had steak once in my life.
What?
Yeah. About a year and a half ago, I tried it for the first time.
Obviously,
right.
weren't fast.
No, I haven't.
It was all right.
I
don't know. I just thought I thought that might be.
It's always on the meal deals in Tesco.
After this, Adam's gonna absolutely crucify me. I know he
will.
is.
I'll tear you apart.
Next question.
So I'll skip that one. Is it true that your first goal for Leiston was in a pre-season friendly and the ball came off the top of your shin after you were put through 1-on-1?
Who said that?
Byron Lawrence. I know he's probably trying to stitch you up.
When I come from Norwich United, I'd scored loads of goals and stuff, and I created a little bit of a buzz and that. And I went to Leiston, and I'm not joking, chaps. I couldn't hit a barn door. I was playing and training. I was playing the games. I was terrible. I was pre-season training. I had a chest infection. I couldn't hit a barn door. People like I look back now. People like Patch were literally blowing raspberries at me when I'm running up to kick the ball, ball in the net in the training drills. And they're literally giving it. Who's this guy? Who is this guy? He's Pony. Do you know what I mean? And my first and only goal, I scored all pre-season of the Golden Boot winning season. The ball got put through. I can't remember who done it. Someone put the ball through, and I've literally just tackled the ball, and it's like gone brrr, like ricocheted off me and the keeper and just rolled in. So Byron just always, and the lads, to be fair, they took the piss today, but Byron never forgets it. That was my first goal for Leiston, and it was an absolute shocker.
Absolute shocker, but that's what started you on the Golden Boot trail.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Unreal.
Yeah,
unreal. Someone's asked if you'll go and sign for Claydon. So that's step 7.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll rephrase that. Like playing for Wanderers, as you get a bit older, would you consider dropping down the pyramid further and carrying on playing, just trying to play at different levels?
Depends how many packs of port scratchings they give me. I mean, I'll play for a multi-pack.
A multi-pack.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I'm happy to see the rest of my time out at Wanderers. I love it there, and I really like Steve. I really like Bucks, and I really like Goldie, and I love the lads. I think the lads are great lads, and I don't know. I can't right now. I want to just say that I just want to see my days out at Wanderers, score 100, 200 goals, and then maybe be done. I don't know. Would I go? I might go back to Thetford Rovers and play for them. Maybe, I don't know.
Thetford Rovers were like calling for you to go back in the summer, weren't they? I noticed on Twitter at one point.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, and Thetford Town as well. Yeah, I could have went back there. Yeah, they were about that. That deal never. That deal very nearly happened. So it was. I kind of didn't mean to, but kind of done them on the last minute and didn't go. And I felt bad. I still feel bad. I'm sorry, Nigel, if you're watching.
Doug French has got a really surprising question.
Did you say Doug French?
Yeah, Doug French. Who's the sexiest kit man?
He what?
He wants to know who the sexiest kit man ever is. I mean,
do you know what? Yeah, I've got some stories about Doug, but I just can't say them live.
Yeah, I've got some stories about Doug that can't go live as well.
I think
similar.
He's a top guy. We all need a Doug in our life. You know, as a kit man, he's just ledge. He's a happy guy. I've never seen him grumpy.
Yeah.
Get rid of him on a chat and all. We can't have him popping up. That's got to go.
Yeah.
Start battering his.
Good
Doug
question from
I like Doug.
Good question from Spencer Swan. He wants to know what made you get into football, and have you ever played in any other position other than striker?
Good question.
Yeah, so I played in goal, like back in the day, like when I was like probably 7, 8, and then I played centre back for a couple of seasons. But I was terrible. and then I went off. I went off to be a BMXer for a while, and I was BMXing and stuff like that. But and then I signed to Thetford Rovers. The manager at Thetford Rovers seen me playing in a ballpark with my mates, just pissing around, and said go over there. And I really liked it over there. I really enjoyed it playing. It's me, dog. We said Byron. Yeah, no, I went Thetford Rovers. Yeah, really liked it. But the turning point for me is it's a story that's probably going to make Kev Horlock make his skin crawl a little bit, but a bit cringy. But now, before I had this chat with Kev, every time someone said something to me as a young kid, it'd get to me. Someone said your shit, your movement shit, you can't finish this. I'd go, oh, like it literally, I'd soak it in and it hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But I remember playing in a friendly, it was like my first game for Thetford Town after coming out of Rovers and that. And I went to play at Thetford. We had a friendly against Needham, and Danny Laws weren't there at the time, and Kev was there. And I played. I got subbed on. I just ripped it up. I couldn't finish my dinner, but I just ripped it up. I was like strong. I was a bit of a bodybuilder back then, so I was strong and just throwing myself around and trying to make things happen and this, that, and the other. And after the game, Kev come up to me. He said, like you got something about you. He said something along them lines. You got something about you. Like I like you. You should come play for Needham. And said maybe a couple of other things that I can't really remember, so I don't really want to guess. But ever since that moment was the time I said to myself, right, I'm going to try and make a go of it. Because why am I listening to someone in the pub drinking a Stella telling me I'm shit when I've got an ex-pro that's done it in the game telling me I'm half all right?
Yeah.
Stop listening to everybody. Start listening to me and what I believe in. Do you know what I mean?
Proved like a bit of a turning point.
Yeah, massively. If it weren't for Kev, I wouldn't have played football because I just had the attitude where someone would say something, I'd get the ump and quit.
Yeah.
Adam, I just have to quickly get this question in. This is from Dan. Can you ask Blakey to let Flurry tyres down on his Ford Fiesta? I don't know what that's.
Flurry's tyres down. I know Flurry, but he ain't driving no Ford Fiesta. Don't know what that is.
I don't know. I've been asked to ask it, so there we go. There it is. Adam, continue.
Question came in about why the move to Billericay didn't happen, but we've answered that. So I'll move on to the next one. Best player you've ever played with? Gonna have to miss a few out here, I think, because you have played with some decent ones, haven't you?
And if it's not in there as a follow-up question, who's the best player you've played against?
It isn't.
Oh Jesus!
It isn't.
I've played against. I'm not
Go on,
mentioning. I can't single out one player. It's the best I've played with.
No, I'm not taking that. I'm not having that.
Um,
You want an honest interview, mate? You want to come on there and spit facts? Come on. Who's the best player you played with?
I cannot like. I've played with some really good players. I can't. I'm just gonna say Byron because I love him. Yeah, and
Fair enough.
he is a joke, but he can't do the defensive side of the game. He's an absolute donkey when it comes to doing the defensive things.
That's one view I've just gone.
But no, Byron. When we both signed to Leiston, he was a lot of the reason for my goals and my success. Yeah, and he was a joke. He was a joke. Do you know what I mean? He was so good. And the thing people forget as well, I think when he signed to Leiston, he was only sort of 19, 20. And like, you know, he's getting looked at like a fully fledged man. And he's not, he's just a kid.
Yeah.
And he was just bossing things. And but there's loads of other players I played, like Hendo, like even Patchy, like Bully's a solid centre half. You ain't getting no better than Bully. Yeah. JJ, they're all solid. I could name them all day long. Garnham's like, look how good of a keeper he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell of a keeper. Hell of a keeper. I mean, so best player you've played against? Is there one that kind of stands out?
No, not really. I'm trying to think. No, not really. No.
You just bossed every game.
Speaking like a similar line, in the league you're playing in now, do you get a lot? Do you get a lot of crap off opposition defenders?
Now the thing when you come down the leagues, the thing people are just clumsy. Like players are just clumsy. Like so, if I get 9 times out of 10, I'm getting the ball in a channel. So the ball gets whipped in the channel, I'm running onto it. Like when you're playing, Ollie Brown, another ledge player. God, how can I forget them? There's so many. I could name 30 lads that I've played with. It's such strong sides. You know what I mean? But no, like when the ball gets, they're just clumsy. So when the ball goes in the channel, and a good centre half or a good fullback would just like shield it, get low, but the lower down the leagues, people just feel it's all right to just scrape their studs down the back of your calves and just run into you and run up you like you're a walk. Do you know what I mean? What are you doing? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just that's one thing that does happen, that players do get a little bit more clumsy. The lower the leagues.
Fair enough. Which defender had you in their back pocket? Has there again? I suppose really, has there ever been a game where you just like nothing's happening for me today? Anyone again that stands out, or not really?
Yeah, there was some that played in the Ryman Prem, but you wouldn't know them, so there's no point mentioning them.
Right.
Yeah. This is wrecking my brains. This one.
We can move on if you want to come back to it.
No, because no, leave that one.
Cool. Adam, carry on.
Nobby Solano has been in my DMs. I don't think it is actually Nobby Solano. He wants to know what other team you think would definitely get promoted with Wanderers. So if Wanderers go up, what other club do you think would definitely go up?
What's the question?
I think Fakenham are strong, really strong. They're compact, organised, massively organised. They're the most. What's he say? Love it, bro. Trampoline touch. Cheers, bye. Love you too, man. Now, Fakenham are a well organised side. I haven't played March yet. I haven't played Lakenheath yet. Let's hope we can play them. Do you know what I mean? Situation, but. Yeah, no, I thought Fakenham were all right. I mean, we should have beat them, I think, at their place, but they were the most organised outfit we've probably played against. So I should say that I should think they'd come up. 4 go up, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so this year because of the restructure.
Yeah, I think it'll be us, Fakenham, March and Lakenheath, I reckon.
So from a really strong footballing-based question to, do you prefer Greg's sausage rolls or steak bakes?
Oh, I've gone off both of them.
Too many of them. Yeah,
too many, mate. That's my little thing at the weekend. Even my little girls have got fed up of them. Where are we going today, Dad? Greg's for a sausage roll again. Like everyone's sick of them because it's to go to Greg's. That's all I do.
Literally, both can go at the minute.
No, no. That's the thing. How can I forget my boy Yenny and Craney? What unbelievable at Norwich United and Ships. Like that's what I mean. I'm forgetting people and I'm offending people. And my phone's buzzing off in front of me right now.
I bet.
Yenny, what a leader. You know what I mean? Yenny at Norwich United is he's been in. What's he done? 300-400 games now. I think he's a great servant. Craney, do you remember Greg Crane?
No, I don't. Can't honestly say.
Lowest off lad. I think he was at Norwich and that back in the day. He was a joke. When he signed to Norwich United, he was fat as hell, but he could just ping the ball wherever he want, both feet.
Fair play. I've got to get this question. In. Where is it? Ipswich or Norwich? Who is your team?
Do you know what? Yeah, you boys are gonna like. I don't really like football. I do like it, but I don't. I might watch Match of the Day once in a blue moon. I'm not like obsessed by football, if you know what I mean.
Fair play. Fair enough.
So I'm a Leeds fan because I've been made to be.
Right.
Support them now because they're back in the Prem. I don't know none of the players or anything, but yeah, we're Leeds. Leeds. No, so yeah. Ipswich are pony, aren't they? Come on, let's be honest. Ipswich.
Yes, they really are.
Yeah, I can't. It's got to be Norwich.
I'll take that as an answer. Adam, continue.
Yeah, Toby Stollery. I mean, his
up the Leeds.
He's sent me messages signed as the Horny Hornet or something. He's quite a character. He wants to know. First of all, he complimented you, saying you're absolutely sick when you played against Debenham, and then wanted to know what your dream car is.
A dream car, okay. I'm going to go realistic because we can all say, like a 300 grand motor and stuff like that. I'm going to be realistic on something that I hope I do get, and that is a convertible S-Class Mercedes.
Snazzy.
But I won't get one before 2030 and they're all going to be electric anyway, so what's the point?
I mean, he then goes, I think like these were submitted at gone midnight, 12:30 at night, these where he wanted to know what your favourite pre-match snack was. I think he's been on the sauce. Do you like fish finger sarnies? He then asked if you would rather marry Angelina Jolie or Cheryl Cole. Toby needs to have a look at himself.
Yeah, I'd like to be the jam in their sandwich, that's for sure.
The jam in their sandwich. Oh my word! What a word for it.
What was the question before
that? Fish finger sarnies, yes or no?
Nah, never a fish finger. I've never eaten one in my life. No, never.
The thing I worried about with Toby is that he's 23 years old and he's asking you if you were like Angelina Jolie or Cheryl Cole. I mean, they're pretty much old enough to be his grandma.
Yeah.
But,
he's had a few Ray Mears, isn't he? He's absolutely steaming.
I think so. That one I've done. Then you've played under some great managers, but how does Bucks rank amongst them?
Bucks is a good gaffer. I like Bucks. He's
Was that from Bucks?
No, it wasn't. Dean Cooper sent that in. No, Bucks didn't send that in.
Right.
Dean Cooper sent that in.
I like Bucks. He's a lovely guy, a great guy. Gets his arm around you if he has to. Do you know what I mean? He's just a lovely guy. But Goldie's a serious guy. The geezer scares me when he talks. He's the nicest guy outside of football. As soon as he sits there and he gives it one of them and he's talking and he's looking at the change room, he shits me up. Look at his serious guy. But they're good. They know their stuff.
Brilliant.
Quite a follow-up question I've had in the last one out of all of those. I mean, I've missed some of them out because I'm not sure that you want them aired. Someone's asked who the best manager is that you've worked with in your time in football.
Listen, the most successful one's Glenn Driver, without a shadow of doubt. Yeah, he's done bits in it. He's done bits in the game, and he's proven, with what he's done. But I've kind of took something out of all of them that I've played. You know what I mean? And but the best gaffer, probably Damien Hilton. And all the rest. There's others that are going to be pissed off that I said that. Glenn's the most successful, and Glenn is a seriously good manager. Him and TK went together so well, and they made things happen. But in terms of, he was just different. Like everyone had so much respect for him. If he walked in the change room, everyone just sat down and shut up. Like there was nothing. Like everyone was like feared for this bloke. You know what I mean? It was like what he said goes. And he weren't aggressive. It's just his whole aura and his whole. I respected him a lot, and he did know a bit about the game. And we won the league twice with him, League Cup doubles, I think, twice. So went to the last 16 in the Vars, I think, and Senior Cup, Norfolk Senior Cup as well, I believe, before we left. So yeah.
Guys, we're going to go for about 5 more minutes before we wrap up today's show because we've been going for over 2 hours tonight.
Wow.
So if you have any questions you want to get in last minute, please be sensible. 5 minutes left, guys. I'm going to bring up one on the screen here from Sidekicks for Sports. What's your pre-match ritual or your lucky charm? Do you do any of that kind of stuff, or what's your kind of? Do you have any sort of superstitions like that before you get going?
The worst one I've heard that someone's had is they have to watch a couple of episodes of The Bill.
Interesting.
That isn't where I was expecting you to go with that. I'll be honest.
No.
That's Stephen Shipley, the Shippers from Norwich United, the legend there. He's left now, but that's what he used to do. But no, I'm big on have to have the same pair of socks and the same undershorts and that. I can't change them. They're washed, but I can't change them.
I saw you. You're quite superstitious, aren't you, when you play? I mean, I saw you last season when you played at Stowe. You had a bad first half and you chucked your boots in the bin at half time.
Yeah, I'm good at doing that. Yeah. See, I think boots bring another 15% out of a player. If I buy a pair of boots and I've had a stinker, they're going in the bin. I can't deal with them anymore. I've got to buy another pair. I've got to find the right ones. I always try and adapt. I always like, I'm going to get some Mizunos or I'm going to switch it up and buy some naughty Umbros or something. And they just do no good. I've just got to stick to Hypervenoms or something like that. Some sort of Nike boots. I hate anything else. I always try and switch it up, but it never works.
There you go. Vinny's going to be upset if I don't answer his insightful question. So I'm going to put it on here. And apologies if it upsets you. Can you ask him what polish he used on his head? I had to turn down the brightness on my TV.
Don't get confused. That's just the lights off the Christmas tree. Like, that's not my head's not usually that shiny. Look at that. Look. That's just the lights off the tree. Let's blame the tree, not my head. It's got hair on there. If I grew that back, I'd have the tightest hairline ever. That'd be down to here. I just choose to have it really bald. Yeah, I've not lost my hair.
I can't talk about hair. That's why I wear a hat these days on the show, because my hair is just boom, it's going. Best team in Suffolk.
4 head to a 7 head.
Yeah,
best team in Suffolk. It's got to be the Wanderers. Has to be. Has to be the Wanderers.
We've had Toby saying, "Could your yearly Wanderers pay packet pay for a hair transplant?" Which is just...
here he is, Toby Stollery.
I can't pay for a hair transplant with port scratches. I can't. I don't think they're going to accept that in Turkey. So
Sean has said pre-match meal is a second-hand fry-up. Fact, you've done with that. Fair enough.
That's my mate.
Favorite GIF: Wanderers money GIF or the Leiston Ming GIF?
Oh, the Ming one.
See, the money one was obviously blew up and was obviously decent for a number of reasons. But the Ming one, when I actually done the Ming one, and I turned up to Leiston with the outfit in the bag, and I started getting out the bag, the lads are on their back like just ridiculous. And you didn't see in the GIF, but I'd shaved all my hair off and I'd shaved all my sideburns off, and I just had this here, similar to Adam's here, just had this little bit here, yeah, had this bit. And then I'd drawn all the eyebrows on like Ming with permanent marker and everything, but you didn't really see it in the GIF. So you could imagine the length I went to create that GIF, and I'm drawing my eyebrows on.
All your effort lost to low resolution imagery.
That's it.
Terrible.
Match day marketing, and it's not good enough. Better camera.
Ben just simply says, get Blakey on as a regular on the show. Alex has asked, what was your best moment playing? What's been your best moment?
Yeah, this is one I probably wanted to talk about. So we went to Bromley and we held them to a draw. I think I scored last sort of 10 minutes anyway. We drew with them and then we brought them back to Leiston and ended up scoring 2, and I scored an absolute banger from outside the box. And this was a massive day for me because or not, should I say? Because like we'd finished the game, and like they had some serious players, some serious ex pros and stuff in their team, and it meant a lot because after the game, you know, the majority of the team coming up to me saying like, I've actually learned something from you tonight. You've been sick. Like, keep doing it. You're going to get your pro move and this, that, and the other. And then Neil Smith, the manager at the time, he come up to me and he put his arm around me, and it's an emotional moment for me. Really, as I walked away from him, I had like tears coming out of my eyes. He's like, honestly, you should be so proud of yourself and this, that, and the other. Like, you're the best player I've seen at our level this season. And I was like, listen, I've come from nothing. Like, to hear that coming out of your mouth was just it's unbelievable for me. It's like, you just keep pushing, you keep doing what you're doing, and then and that was the mad moment where nothing else mattered other than what he just said to me. And do you know what I mean? And it was just a great moment. Do you know what I mean?
Do you want me to show that goal?
He said, what's that?
Do you want me to show you? Do you want me to play that goal?
Play it. Let's have a look.
I've got it. Let me bring up on the screen. 2 seconds. Where is it? Here we go. So these are your goals from that night.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the first time I've seen, that's the first time I've seen Franny for about 12 months though, I'll tell you, in that video right there. It's the first time I've seen Franny, Joe Francis.
You look pretty chuffed with that second one, that celebration.
Yeah, that was a big night, man. And there was a lot of fans there and all, and that just takes me back to the happy time of football when there weren't much going on in my mind other than just turning up and having banter and playing football and being ruthless in front of goal. And it makes me smile. I always watch them videos back and just smile. Just great memories.
Nice. Daniel Barnard has said, what are your thoughts on many teams not playing in the furlough league on Saturday? Do you have any? Could be interesting. You can skip this one if you want. It's fine.
No, I think it's difficult. I think there's a fine line, isn't there? I mean, obviously I've had this conversation with a few people, and without bar money, like this stuff does make a difference, like a massive difference. Like, you don't understand how much of a difference it actually makes. It like when you can't sell beers and you can't sell burgers and you can't sell chocolate or whatever behind the bar, then like I'm telling you that's over half some clubs' money. Yeah. So as soon as Boris Johnson pulls his thumb out of his arse and sorts it all out and lets people sell beer and do the right thing, and I mean, I heard you talking before I come on air. Is he said that you can actually buy a beer now and go and stand with it on the pitch?
There seems to be a subset on some rules that sort of say that you could, but it doesn't seem to have been widely picked up yet. So it's a bit unsure on how to broadcast it, to be honest.
That's the worst thing about it. We all talk about it and we all go on and that, and then you get 5 minutes in and you just go, oh. Like no one knows. It's just like like, are you coming? Are you going? Are we playing? Are we not? You know what I mean?
You know what, like, as much as everyone's sick of hearing about COVID and everything else, right? Not talking about that. It's the fine lines of everyone just wanting to talk about how can we get back to doing the things we love.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What we're talking about. How can we do the things that we love?
This is what I mean. I spoke to someone the other day, and there's By again. Good old Byron. Cheers, By. Love you, bro. I said this the other day when we went in our first lockdown. It made me think different because, like, we're all born into this world, and you think you're in control of your life. You're not in control of your life. You are controlled.
Yep.
When they say you're not going out, you ain't going down the pub, you ain't going to see your friends, or you're going to get slapped with £1,000 on your pocket.
Yeah.
You're not in control of your life. It's just criminal. It's like I know people are dying and things, but you don't actually own your life. You don't.
Have you been like meeting up with like one of the lads or someone you know and just kicking a ball about and keeping yourself going?
No, because none of my lads really play football no more. They'll piss around and stuff, but they're not going to come out of their house, and especially not now the PS5's out, and come kick a ball with me.
Yeah, jumping the goalpost, not for them anymore. Yeah.
No, that's not. No, I think we're a bit too grown up for that. I think we look a bit weird, and all a couple of 30-plussers in the field playing football. Don't look a bit weird.
I went out yesterday, and just past Colchester somewhere, and a club were doing a whole drill. We're doing a whole training session, but all they've done, they've used an enormous field of loads of pitches in twos, tons of cones out, and I was like, what a joke.
Yeah, that's crazy. That I mean, I do. I like to be drilled in. I'm happy it's all back because I like to be drilled and do stuff every week because obviously there's only so much of the misses we can all take. So I like to get out and get with the boys and train and stay motivated and stay active because I mean I don't know what I'd do without it, to be honest with you. Without no gym, no football forever. I mean I might as well just blow my brains out. I don't know what I'd do about it.
A couple of weeks ago, Muzzy texted me and sort of said about something to talk about on the show, and I'm sure we'll go into it more next week. But he said in the pro game, it's been proven there's 150% more injuries. Like, and I'm sure you won't get away from the fact, like you've had a couple of injuries in the last year or so. Are you worried going back after keep having stopping and starting that injuries could be an issue, or are you good?
I've been telling, like, I try and stay as active. I still run sort of once, twice a week. Still, train as much as I can and this, that, and the other. But I've been telling people since March. I'm saying, as 30-plussers, that we're borderline finished here. If we're not careful, we could be finished here because, like I say, you can't. We've just had a month off, and we've got to go back in and do Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. I can tell you now, Friday night, I'm going to be stiff as a board. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't recover 30-plussers. You don't recover like you used to. It's tough. So it is going to play a big effect on the older boys for sure. It is hard.
Yeah, definitely. One more question from the chat, and then I'll let you ask one question, Adam, and then I'm gonna finish on one. So Damo Brown says, "How good was it playing with was it Nico Muir? Is it Nico Muir? Yeah. And how enjoyable was that season where you were bagsman of the league?"
Nico, I can't believe I didn't mention him in the best players. To be fair. No, that's what I mean. It's another story. It's just it's a different position. I'm talking about defenders and this, that, and the other. I completely forgot how good Nico was. Everyone says, "Oh, you weren't shit without him," and this, that, and the other. But I always say I scored 25 goals before Nico turned up that first season. But when he did turn up, he brought a whole different level to the game. Like his hold-up play was a joke. He'd run as well. He had energy, and he's probably the best striker I played with. To be fair, I think we worked ridiculously well together. Do you know what I mean? He'd drop in, go get it, be strong, arse in, back in, elbows up, and I'd just be spinning all the time, running off. He did, to be fair, he created a lot of goals for me when just from his hard work, dropping in and fighting for the ball and stuff. And when it drops, boom, I'm gone. Do you know what I mean? So he is a class player, and he went to Hartlepool and scored a few goals there, I think. And then now he's at where is he? Somewhere in the where's he? Somewhere in the conference, I think. Conference
right.
North.
Right. There you go. Adam, what's your final question you want to ask?
It's a bit of a big one, but it's one that's been resonating with me since we've spoken. You've obviously had bad times in football, and you've had good times as well. Like tonight, I think has been all about the whole balance of you and what's gone on in your career. What got you out of them darkest times? What support was it? Because
great question, and this is
a turning point.
I'm glad you've asked because I would have been gutted if I didn't talk about it. But so basically, I had a friend that I grew up with, and I was really close to the family. I was like one of their kids, really, growing up. I used to go around there, stay around there all the time, this, that, and the other. Anyway, my friend's dad got terminally ill, and bless him. And so I hadn't been around there for ages to see him. So I was like so hesitant to go around and see him because I thought, fuck, I can't just go around because he's dying and this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like there was a line drawn between us, and I just couldn't bring myself go around to go see him just because he was dying. Do you know what I mean? I almost wanted to hide away from the situation rather than go and see him. But I plucked up the courage and I spoke to his wife, and I ended up going around there, and he opened the door to me and he just started crying and like he hugged me and that. And to be fair, he was he pulled me out, and he pulled me out like you would not believe. Like when having a conversation with a dying man is a complete different kettle of fish, man. When they know they're dying and they're talking to you.
Yeah.
And telling you what really matters and what don't.
It's the truth.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like that was one thing that pulled me out, because who the fuck am I to get annoyed about what Peter, Dave and Paul said when this geezer's dying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he told me some in-depth things, probably things that he's never shared with anybody. And I told him some things that I ain't shared with anybody. And it was a beautiful thing to be able to talk to him. We lost him in the first lockdown, but see, the thing is, it's gonna sound really crazy and really weird, but I went round to see him, but in a selfish way. He didn't realize how much he was helping me. I think he probably did, but I was kind of using him as well because he was giving me so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not just going around there to see him. I'm going around there because he's doing so much for me, and he don't even realize.
Yeah.
No, actually, the geezer's actually like when the fella would cuddle me, yeah, I'd probably never ever felt that sort of love. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just different. The geezer's gonna die. The fella's gonna die, and he's sitting, and do you know what I mean? And I've not seen him for years, and to knock on his door and him to like be upset, and then I started going around there once every sort of 1-2 weeks, and then until I could, and I think that was the turning point for me, you know. Like I said, like, who am I to get annoyed about pathetic little things? In the grand scheme of things, this fella's dying.
Do you think that's taught you a lot going forward in terms of how you think you'll handle situations?
I like to say that I never really lose in situations. I always try and learn of everything, and everything and anything that's said to me. I try and take it on board. You know, it's we can't afford to lose and be stamped into the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try and take everything, and yeah, the things he was saying to me, yeah, it definitely changed me. It changed me as a person. And obviously I was gutted when he passed, because who do I talk to now? I didn't even talk to my mum about nothing. Nothing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've got close family around me. I've got my mum, I've got my brother, I've got my missus, you know what I mean? I've got everyone, but, you know, sometimes...
I think it's hard, though, as a bloke, to actually find that person to open up to and just be able to say all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's difficult to find that gateway.
Yeah, I have to admit, I probably don't have that person that I can probably do that with. I couldn't honestly say, because you worry about how the other person's going to react, don't you?
Yeah. And my big thing is like, is this person going to use this against me in any way? If I say that and I let him know that, is he going to use that against me? Like, you know, like, but this fella's on his last legs and he can't use nothing against me. It's a beautiful.
We think a lot about like the opinions other people form about us when we tell them things, without thinking about how we need to help ourselves by communicating that thing in the first place.
Communication is the biggest thing ever. Like, people, I've seen the closest relationships break up, because of no communication. Nothing. Yeah. And that's how things break up. That's how best friends ain't best friends no more. That's how people break up from their missus. That's how, you know, everything happens.
Yeah.
Bad things happen to people because of no communication. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here now. And my phone's absolutely going wild. I've got, oh, look, Craig Cooper. I would never single a player out, mate. Shut up. But do you know what I mean? Communication is key. Not that sort of communication, but you know what I mean. When you're in a space, like, if you don't feel like you got nothing around you, it's crazy, because before I got to talking to this fellow who was dying, I actually worked for a doctor, and I started talking to him about a few things and about the whole disappointment thing and feeling let down that I've never really felt in my life that bad. And he put me through into a service that would help me. So I'm phoning them, and I'm in a bad way. Obviously, I've not slept in this, that, and the other, and so I'm phoning them, and they're asking me questions and this, that, and the other, and I lied through the whole goddamn thing. I lied through the whole thing. And it's like, do you feel suicidal? No, I don't know. I'm fine. But the reality is, 300-400 times a day, I'm thinking, should I just blow my head off? Like, am I suicidal? I'm thinking it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like I was almost too arrogant to
admit what was going on.
Do you see what I mean? And accept it. And I think the thing, as soon as I got to grips on the whole sleep side of things, I think that changed the way I was thinking. And do you know what I mean? Because you can imagine not sleeping for a whole week. Yeah, you ain't gonna think right. You ain't gonna be right. You ain't gonna. It's gonna be
become
tough.
your own worst enemy. I think. Like,
yeah,
you can't function. And all credit to you for managing to keep all of your relationships at home strong and everything else, because I can imagine that football, the thing that you do because you love, probably affected the ones that you love massively. It
took a massive hit on my family because like we spoke about, it was super, super tough, man. Like, for me, I'm not even trying to be on a downer or nothing, but I mean, I've never spoke about in this depth with anybody, let alone on a podcast in front of absolutely everybody. I don't give a shit now. I'm trying to get closure from it. That's why I said the whole Leiston stuff and all that. I don't care now because I've got closure on it. It's fine. I've let everyone know that is what it is now. Do you know what I mean? I've spoke about it and it is what it is. And it's the same with my feelings and how I felt after all of that. I've got closure on it now. I'm letting go.
And I think I say on behalf of me and Adam, I think we appreciate how you've kind of spoken tonight. Yeah. My last question for you before we wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back on everything that's happened, footballing wise, where you are now as a man, how you are now mentally, how you are in life at the moment. If you could go back and redo any of the steps again, would you? Or are you happy with where you are right now?
Like I said before, I've done some horrible stuff, and I've been horrible and this, that, and the other, and I've been through some horrible things. It makes us the people who we are today. You need to go through them. You need to go through all the bullshit. You need to feel that. You have to feel it. You have to go through it, and you got to deal with it. It makes you a stronger person. If not, we're all just going to crumble and shatter, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a blessing, really. Like, you go through anything, whether it's a breakup with your missus, or whether it's someone's dying in your family, or someone's died, or you have to go through these things. And the strong survive at the end of the day. And if you have to get stronger from it, and it makes you a better person in the end.
Honestly, mate, you are some guy to come through this stuff and say it makes you a better person and stuff. I know so many people that couldn't say that with that conviction and knowing that.
You have to, yeah. I don't want to be on no down on that because I'm a fun guy and I'm a piss taker and I'm this, that, and the other. But I think it needs to be spoken about. I think we all go through our little things in life.
I mean, everyone coming into this, everyone knew the sort of little bits, tiny bits of what had happened, and formed their own opinion.
Yeah.
This has honestly been something else. Like,
it's
it
good.
Really has.
It's good, and I like what you lot are doing. I like what you two are doing on there. It's good for Suffolk football, and that's what it needs. You know what I mean? It's what it needs. People need to be talking about it, and glad to come on, boys. It's been good, and I need to look at my phone because it's gone a bit bananas, and everyone's texting me. And
the unfiltered honesty is not only appreciated by the two of us, but I can tell you now, the comment section, views, people have loved this, and I think it'll be something that we look back on with pride, and something that I've probably learned a lot. There's a lot to learn, I think, personally as well, when listening to your stories and the way that you've dealt with difficult situations.
Yeah.
And
this is what I'm going to wrap things up with. Don't be late to training Wednesday, mate.
Oh, Bucks, what a guy. I won't, because I don't want Goldie like that. Goldie's giving like that.
Mate, absolutely massive respect and appreciation for you coming on, for being open, for being honest, for the chat you've had. Really, really appreciate your time. It's been a fantastic,
outrageous tonight.
I don't want to say interview. I want to say conversation with you, because I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know what kind of conversations we were going to have. I didn't know which avenues we were going to go down. I didn't want to set an agenda tonight. And me and Adam specifically said we are not going to stick to a timeline of events. We are going to go from whatever happens from the conversation. So I really appreciate you coming on, mate. And it's massive, massive respect to you. And as people said, they want you back on. So at some point during the season, we will have to get you back on at some point to chat. Just general football stuff when we're back up and running.
Whenever you want me to come on, I come on and we'll have
don't tell them that. They'll want you on it every week, mate.
Yeah. So you'll end up like shipping us two off and just having it with just you, I think.
Out my podcast, boys, and wipe you out your business here.
Yeah, well, this is true. I'm a bit worried.
No. Listen, lads, it's been led to talk and that, and I hope I ain't pissed my missus off too much, so I can hear her huffing and puffing up there because I'm talking a bit loud. But it's been led, man, and like I said, I wanted to get everything off my chest. And I know people are going to be angry and this, that, and the other. But you know what? I couldn't give a shit because they ain't been through what I've been through, and people have done me wrongs, and I don't give a shit now. If I don't get an apology, that's it. I've heard you. That's it. I can move on. That's my closure. Same about my whole issues coming off the back of that. This is my telling you.
And I'm sure we'll have plenty of DMs from people as well for giving you the platform. But do you know what?
If you want, appreciate you choosing this as your platform to come and speak about it properly.
Yeah.
Like and actually, like, get a story out there and want to be honest with it.
Yeah. I hope people watch it, and I hope people watch it and go on YouTube or whatever they ain't watch tonight and go watch it and see the. But that's the thing, boys. It's like I don't want to bang on, but I've told you a handful of things at the end of the day in terms of football. I've told you a handful of things. There's more. There's loads more, and I could talk. We could go until 2-3 in the morning. Yeah, but we can't because I've got a pantry to paint tomorrow. I can't do this no more. Lads.
If you've enjoyed the video, if you've enjoyed the chat tonight, please make sure, if you're from a YouTube perspective, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you are watching from a Twitter perspective, retweet, Facebook share, get on the dailies. If you want to donate to the channel, Patreon, Ko-fi links are in the description. But until next time, as always on the channel, adios, my friends. Adios.